and gentlemen, I think it's turned 9:30 and it's time for us to begin these proceedings. I hope everybody is ready. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, or even good evening, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. To all of our distinguished guests, those who've joined today, and maybe our regular participants. Welcome to the 2021 Golden Peacock Awards virtual ceremony. I'm delighted to be your host on this occasion. It's been a particularly good feeling because I've been associated with the IOD now for nearly 30 years. On behalf of the IOD then, it's my great pleasure to welcome you. Today we're an award in a variety, but including the particularly relevant ones of governance and sustainability. They're inevitably going to be particularly important topics for us to keep our fingers on during the course of this global pandemic. Organisations around the world that are surviving and succeeding and thriving even are the ones who've invested heavily in their preparations for both governance and sustainability. We have guests joining us from all around the world, from India obviously, but from other countries including the USA, the UK, Japan, the Emirates, from Switzerland, the Netherlands, Canada, Italy. I can't imagine a part of the world that isn't being represented today, so welcome to everybody. We are particularly grateful to the ACCA UK, who are a very important supporter of the organisation and of the awards. They're a global body for professional accountants. They operate in 180 countries. They are our principal strategic partner at the IOD. We also have other sponsors and supporters with us too. We're going to be hearing in particular though from a representative of the ACCA during the course of the proceedings. Our other strategic partners include NASDAQ Boardvantage from the USA and the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, Gold Partners. Over the last 30 years, the IOD in India has been debating on a whole range of topics of relevance to boards and boardrooms. These, of course, do include governance and sustainability, but also development of directors and inclusive growth. The IOD India has demonstrated its commitment to building boards for the future, and this is probably just another example or representation of that very important work. So today is a very special day for us. We celebrate the achievements of some of the outstanding leaders and facilitate the winners of the Golden Peacock Awards for Sustainability and Corporate Governance, both in a global and national sense. The addressees of the conference are going to be introduced slowly and steadily through the course of the proceedings. We're going to try and break up the awards a little bit with those. So without any further ado, I'm going to request Dr. Vivek Agnihotri, who is the Director General of the Golden Peacock Awards Secretariat and a former Secretary General of the Rajya Sabha, the Parliament of India, to develop the welcome address. Thank you, Dr. Agnihotri.
Thank you, Dr. Graham. Yours Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Golden Peacock Awards Secretariat, it gives me great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the virtual Golden Peacock Awards Presentation Ceremony 2021. A wholehearted welcome to all our distinguished guests joining us from various parts of the world. Let me begin with congratulating all the winners of 2020 Golden Peacock Awards for Corporate Governance and Sustainability. Having led the corporates during these difficult pandemic times, you are a source of inspiration to all of us. It is my pleasant duty to extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Praveen Kumar, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. It is indeed my privilege to welcome our Global Chairperson, Her Excellency, the Baroness Verma, a life peer. She currently chairs EU Goods Subcommittee of Lords and UN Women's National Committee. She has been the Minister of Energy, Climate Change and International Development, Government of UK. A very warm welcome to our international guests Ms. Lucia Riel Martin, Executive Director Markets ACCA, who has joined us from Australia, and Mr. Byron Laughlin, Global Head, Board Management, NASDAQ Governance Solutions, who has joined us from the USA. I'm also delighted to welcome Mr. K. Veer Raghav Rao, IAS Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, who will be delivering a special address today. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are passing through a testing period in human history as COVID-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic increase in risk and uncertainty and given rise to profound challenges for all of us. Corporate governance has come to the fore and sustainability has redefined itself. Good corporate governance and environment, social and governance performance for long-term sustainability are important aspects of globalization. The board bears the brunt of unprecedented problems and forestalls emergence of future predicaments. The challenge is to break away from the destructive hegemonic technological paradigm while orchestrating a just transition within the economic and political spheres. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's winners are very special to us as the Golden Peacock Awards instituted by the Institute of Directors India completes 30 glorious years. Over the years, they have come to be regarded as the hallmark of corporate excellence locally as well as globally. It is an auspicious day as we celebrate the achievements of some of the well performing organizations assessed through the Golden Peacock Awards. These organizations have undertaken significant initiatives to enhance their reputation, governance, and sustainability practices and created new benchmarks. Their initiatives and innovations have gone beyond the statutory compliance requirements to achieve high standards of corporate excellence. I am very happy to see how the corporates have worked tirelessly to drive the economy during this pandemic, making their businesses sustainable. This year, in spite of the raging pandemic, the Golden Peacock Award Secretariat received more than 200 responses for its cycle of two awards, out of which 87 applications were shortlisted. Finally, 29 of them have been selected as winners this year and they are being felicitated today virtually. I am aware that there are a large number of organizations which could not be among the winners. However, they are equally among the champions, as in my opinion, all the shortlisted applicants have shown extraordinary commitment to strive for excellence and exhibited a keen desire to maintain high levels of enterprise to achieve world-class status. I am sure they will be among the winners in the times to come. In a keen competition, the grand jury could select only the best in the sectors. It is a time to cheer all our corporate leaders and warriors and to pay tribute to all the winners of the Golden Peacock Awards in order to enable them to scale new and unprecedented heights in future. Congratulations once again to all the winners of Golden Peacock Awards of 2020 in the disciplines of sustainability and corporate governance. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Agnihotri, for your very kind words and welcome and for a beautiful summation of the situation that we're in and the importance of these awards and the contribution of the winners. May I now request President of the IOD India, Lieutenant General J.S. Ahluwalia, who's really spearheading the vision and mission of the IOD, to deliver his presidential address.
Thank you, Graham. Your Excellencies, ladies, gentlemen, and honorable Golden Peacock Award winners, a very warm welcome to all of you, and special thanks to our honored chief guest, Baroness Sandy Verma, Global Chair, IOD India Advisory Council and Chair of Goods Committee, UK for European Union. Also the Chair for UN Women UK. And Mr. Praveen Kumar, IAS, Secretary, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. Our special guests include Ms. Lucia Real Martin, Executive Director, Markets, ACCA UK. ACCA is a global body of finance and audit professionals operating in 179 countries across the globe. And Mr. Byron Laughlin, the Global Head of Board Engagement at Nasdaq Governance Solutions, USA. I would also like to give my special thanks are due to the grand jury of this GPA award, the Honorable Justice M.N. Venkatchalaya, Padma Vibhushan, Chair of Golden Peacock Awards jury and former Chief Justice of India. As the patron and national chairman, he has been the guiding light of the Institute of Directors. Other honorable jury members include Mr. Shekhar Dutt, IAS, former Governor of Chhattisgarh and Secretary Defense. Lieutenant General Surendranath, former Chairman, Union Public Service Commission and Vice Chief of Army Staff. Dr. Ajay Dua, IAS, Independent Director on boards of many top companies, including Dabur, Kirloskar, Senior Advisor to Mitsui and PN Paribas Bank, and former Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Shri Dhanendra Kumarji, Chair, National Competition Policy, former Chair, Chair of Competition Commission of India, and Executive Director, World Bank, and earlier a Secretary, Government of India. Shri Anurag Goyal, former Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Dr. Aruna Sharma, Member, Digitization Committee of the Reserve Bank of India, Independent Director of a number of companies like Jindal, Welspun, etc., and former Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Government of India. Dr. Udesh Kohli, Secretary General, IFTDO, and Senior Advisor, Global Compact, and former CMD of Power Finance Corporation, which he led so beautifully. I have also great pleasure for welcoming you all for this Golden Peacock Awards presentation. Today, the global and national awards, both in the two major corporate functional categories of corporate governance and sustainability for the year 2020 are being presented. Institute of Directors, as you know, is a membership-based, not-for-profit association of corporate directors whose main role is to prepare directors for future, keep them updated through training, networking, and publications, prepare future boards to be more effective, represent directors' issues with government and the media, conduct training courses, event management, board research and advisory, Golden Peacock Awards and IOD publications and handbooks to guide the corporate directors. The Golden Peacock Awards, as earlier mentioned by Sri Agnihotri, were instituted by India in 1991 as a public service to raise the quality of important corporate functional areas to attain global benchmarks. IOD strongly believes that responsible competitiveness brings out the best, both in industry, individuals, and organizations, for raising the overall quality and standards. The successful brands are perpetual source of value creation apart from being a badge of honor. Awards recognize and reward the best in class, create models for the industry, one of the most potent ways to motivate and mobilize the companies or the corporates' intellectual assets for getting or reaching still greater heights. It is important for us to recognize that power that corporations wield is great. Of the top 100 economic entities in the world, 70% are corporations, only 30% are countries. The current complex, non-linear changes in the Earth system have been unprecedented in the human history, and we have a lot to match them. Corporate governance is one area of awards today. Corporate governance is manifestation of owners' organizational beliefs, values, transparency, and accountability. It makes markets confident of investor safety, regulatory framework, and a tool for growth. It provides a nation-specific culture with independent directors as watch guards. The corporate governance depends on checks and balances among four major institutions: board, management, stakeholders, and regulators. Corporate governance is a way of life, not a set of rules alone. A system by which an organization is managed and controlled. Transparency and disclosure are the key pillars of corporate governance. For related party transactions, the conflict of interest is the root cause of corporate governance failures, and corporate governance in many other areas is at crossroads. Can corporate governance future-proof the boards? Can guidance and principles replace the code and rules to unleash creativity and create new options? What we need is a simple, globally accepted corporate governance code. A few words on sustainability. The past decade has been a seminal period for sustainability. On 15 September 2015, UN General Assembly adopted the 17 Sustainability Development Goals for 2030. The business industry play a critical role in helping India achieve its SDG targets to accelerate development of sustainable and resilient societies. The roots of sustainability movement can be traced to global environment, climate change, and societal and governance concerns. Good corporate citizenship also got included in sustainability agenda. The three P's, planet, people, and profit, they define sustainability. 21st century markets will be driven by aspirations of sustainability with economic, social, and environmental concerns as DNA of the firm. Boards need to have a transformational strategy for building a sustainability paradigm. Sustainability is business imperative for long-term value creation and reducing environment footprints along the value chain. Building scalable and sociable business is sustainable. The three S, scalable, social, and sustainable, are interlinked. Today, brand value is not based on profit, but on the public perception of the difference it makes in the society. ESG, that is the environment, social, and governance, they have created a unique model, a unified strategy that seeks to synergize the creation. Longevity is the fruit of strict adherence to ESG and for inclusive and sustainable growth. This is what these winners today have taught us. To end, my special felicitations and congratulations to today's award winners in the areas of corporate governance and sustainability. I am grateful to Baroness Verma and Shri Praveen Kumar ji for honoring this event and gracing it with their kind presence. Thank you.
Thank you, General Walia. I'm going to move on very swiftly. For the chairperson's address, may I now invite Baroness Verma, who has already been introduced to us, must have one of the most complex roles in British government at the moment, managing this incredible transition that we're going through. She is also, though, representing the UK with the United Nations over the women's issues. So straight over to Baroness Verma.
Thank you very much, Graham, and it is always a great pleasure to join this really esteemed event of felicitating and celebrating the wonderful businesses that have been nominated and have become awardees and winners for the Golden Peacock Award. And I would like to start by thanking the President of the IOD India for the incredible work that he and his board do throughout the year to ensure that businesses across the globe are able to actually do exactly what he very eloquently laid out in his opening remarks. General Ahluwalia is a force to be reckoned with. He actually espouses to me the absolute pillars that he laid out very clearly in the theme under corporate governance, that of transparency, of accountability, of honesty, of integrity, as all great pillars to underpin the growth of any good business, which then goes on to grow any growing nation. And I would also like to thank very much the introductions done right at the beginning by Dr. Agnihotri for laying out very clearly and succinctly the purpose of today's event. It has been an honor to have been associated with the IOD India for all of these years, and to see the efforts that companies go to ensure that they become nominees, and then a very select few become award winners of these amazing awards that actually are so relevant to any business that really wants to go on to land and gold standard their businesses against the top businesses in the world. I also want to welcome our wonderful chief guests from across the globe, without whom their presence and their input into how their organizations are run and how they support the IOD India in the work that they're doing, it would not be possible to be able to do the reach out and the work we do without the great support of people such as these that are here today as our prominent sponsors and supporters, but they are still underpinned by many, many others who regularly every year have been at the awards supporting the great work that organizations do, and then allows us to have a share in celebrating their achievements. I've been struck over the years at the amount of hard work that has been going on within individual businesses, but the General, in his opening remarks, very rightly pointed to the challenges that all businesses face today because of the pandemic. The COVID pandemic has touched every single country in the world, and what it has demonstrated is how fragile and how and how we were able to actually, within the fragility, come together as nations to ensure that we tackle this COVID pandemic together. And that means that we don't stop until every country is in a position to make sure that they are vaccinating, fighting equally the pandemic, as all nations across the world are struggling to find out how to combat the new strains, how to combat the new difficulties that working from home has posed. And that leads me on to the sustainability piece, which for me is really, really important. It fits exactly in the same quantum as corporate governance, because unless we look at the issues around us that are about environmental, about people, about skills, about the poor, about digitalization, about leveling the playing fields for everyone, unfortunately, corporate governance, a standalone in itself, will not resolve some of the major issues that have plagued us within the corporate world, within the business world, and within governments for centuries. And that is the gap between those that have and those that do not have, and the decision making of those that have and those that do not have grows bigger. And so what I found, and my takeaway from this pandemic, is that it is allowing us all to reset some of the clock of where we should be once we come out of the pandemic. And it can be a transformational change to every single organization. And I'm sure the ones that have been recognized today have already started to build in, put in, feed in those transformational changes. The digital platforms are allowing us to be even better connected, but it's also changing the way we expect to operate in the future. And that leads me on to that neat collaboration piece that we now need to be able to expand on. Digitalization, collaboration, research development cannot be done in single silos. They have to be done as multiple layered and multiple pillars. And I'm really always keen to highlight that one of the demonstrations of a growing, maturing world of integrity is where you get all people of diverse backgrounds involved in the decision making, involved in the boards, involved in making sure that the lens that we are producing is an outward facing one that reaches everyone. And my ask always is that every single board in every single organization looks very carefully at how it is made up. And whilst I congratulate the Indian government for ensuring that at least there should be one representation of a female on a board, I know that from the master classes we are collecting together, that this should be a driver for us all to be saying to all leaders in all organizations, both public and private, that we do need to make sure that the lens of the female is bedded strongly at the core of boardrooms today. Digitalization will allow it. Inclusive growth is important. Any company that's worth its value in salt will demonstrate profit margins rise dramatically at no loss to the company's integrity. So I will leave my message clear to you all that as mature economies develop new ways of operating, we must ensure that growth comes from the bottom, reaches up. The levelling field is an important gauge to us. The UK has come out of Europe. I see a really strong relationship with many countries across the globe, but they must all be based on the same values that we must share internally as well as externally. And therefore, my parting note is congratulations to every single awardee, every single winner today. You are so deserving. To be able to reach these heights, you have to go through a lot of judges, making sure that you've managed to fit into so many of the criteria. But we are pleased that you are with us and that you're sharing our shared values, and that this ripples out to all other organizations. Thank you so very much for having me. It is morning here. My business of parliamentary work starts very shortly, so I will have to step out and hopefully step in at some point again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Baroness Verma, for the warmth of your address, for highlighting the very hard work and global significance of the organisations that are represented today, and the effort that these awards represent behind the scenes, not the least at this incredibly demanding time. So thank you very much for your very generous donation of time and energy to the IOD. Thank you. What companies have to think about when considering their long-term business model and their strategy, and how to embrace good practice that facilitates long-term growth, is very much part of the contribution that globally accountants bring to boardrooms. So I'm delighted to invite Lucia Real-Martin, who is the Executive Director for Markets for the ACCA, to deliver a special address today on the guiding tenets of good corporate governance and the role of professional accountants. She is an executive team leader and global player who's been leading the development of the ACCA throughout Africa, China, Eurasia and new markets, as well as India. And she has been looking after the ACCA's market partnerships and recognition globally. She's had 26 years of experience on international business and market development. She's been working for organizations developing their global footprint and strategy, and she's been instrumental in the upskilling of finance and accounting professionals globally. Today, the ACCA has been claims to have been operating in anything between 179 and 180 countries. I've noticed the figures have varied this morning. Hopefully Lucia will be able to correct us on that one. But it certainly represents a community of nearly 250,000 qualified members and over 500,000 future members, which are extraordinary figures. Ladies and gentlemen, the ACCA, an integral part of the IOD's India global family. We're delighted to have Lucia Real-Martin with us today from the UK. Lucia.
Thank you very much, Dr. Graham Wilson, for that very kind introduction, and I hope that you can all hear me well. I would like to start by acknowledging Lieutenant General Alwala, the President of the Institute of Directors, who has been instrumental in the partnership between ACCA and IOD. I would also like to acknowledge Dr. Vivek Anilotri, Director General Golden Peacock Awards Secretariat, and indeed the Baroness Verma, Global Chair of IOD India Advisory Council, both of them with magnificent speeches today. And I'd also like to acknowledge Mr. Praveen Kumar, Secretary of the Ministry of Skills Development and Entrepreneurship. And first of all, let me say a sincere thank you to all of you for asking me to speak today at this wonderful and very timely event, and for the chance to join you. Again, I've had the opportunity to join you in a number of occasions, and this is the first time we're doing virtually. And indeed, the challenging situation that we are all going through at the moment has thrown many challenges, but also has given us opportunities to continue to be connected, as the Baroness was saying, in a very different way, using digital means. So I wish, in that sense, to convey also my wishes of safety and health for the IOD family, and also all the participants under these challenging circumstances. At ACCA, we are so very proud of the long-term association that we've had with the Institute of Directors. And over the years, these partnerships has continued to grow deeper and richer, and this is a cause of much satisfaction, not only for all of us at ACCA, but our members and other partners. So I'm really delighted to be here to support the magnificent Golden Peacock Awards. And as has been said, also I would like to extend my congratulations to all the winners of the awards, but also all of those that have committed to enter the awards. Indeed, is a theme that has been very well chosen, and much of the future success of businesses and the health of the global economy depend on what these awardees are presenting, being able to consider the planet and people in the light of best corporate governance. Understanding that I am amongst the most experienced experts in the world on corporate governance, I would like to take your permission to cast our eye at the beginning of corporate governance. And indeed, the corporate governance concept itself is just as old as capitalism. And as we know, the world's first public company, the Dutch East India Company, was founded in 1602. But as early as 1609, shareholders revolted against the way the board was running the business. And an angry investor in Amsterdam named Isaac Lemaire charged the board with retaining another's money for longer or using it in ways than the latter wishes. And indeed, this complaint led to limits in which the board operated without the consent and proper audit of the company books. So Corporate governance was born then, 412 years ago, even though it wasn't called that until much, much later. And as we very well know, the concept itself didn't appear until the mid-1970s in US legislation that was designed to crack down on corporate misbehavior. And at that time, it was really seen as by businesses as a punitive act, a break in what an organization could do to grow, and really not until very recently. It's fair to say that many executives have seen corporate governance as a nuisance as best. And really looking at it as a tick-boxing exercise or something that just had to be endured. But today, through the indefatigable work of the Institute of Directors and many other organizations, including ACCA, we can say the opposite, and the focus and the role of corporate governance in the 21st century is more important than ever before. And indeed, the future belongs to businesses that are going to regard corporate governance as the route to long-term sustainability, prosperity, and growth. And of course, we are all very clear of the demands that society is making on businesses. And this has more than ever changed now around COVID. I want to bring your attention to one of our recent reports. ACCA as an organization conducts many research projects, and I will reference to a couple of them in my address. But I wanted to bring this in how we are looking at impact. And in fact, impact is now the measure of an action's benefit to society and the planet, of how we measure, how we assess, and how we improve the effects of activities on sustainability issues. And it's very relevant not only for organizations and investors that want to address and manage environmental, social, and governance risk, as has been said before, but also for those that want to positively contribute to global goals. So there is indeed a growing acceptance that a commitment to sustainability has to be at the top of the agenda for any organization that want to earn the permission of the public, not only to thrive, but to actually stay in business. And the message that I want to deliver today is that they can turn to professional accountants to make these commitments a reality. The demand for real action to protect our planet is only going to continue to grow louder and louder as extreme weather events, and I mean one of those countries where that is a reality even today, will continue to become commonplace. Indeed, the catastrophic global effects of the pandemic on public health and the world economy has sharpen our focus on this, as well as on well-being as a measure of public good, rather than only focusing on wealth. And this is why corporate governance is so important. And at ACCA, we've thought a lot about this and what it means. For us, we've consulted very widely amongst our global community of over 227,000 members and over 500,000 of future members, as well as the partners that we have across the 179 countries where we have members and future members. And we have arrived to that vision for how the concept can be developed with the public interest in mind. I should also say that this is very much in line with our values, which have remained the same since our inception in 1904, as we exist to promote the ideals of inclusion, integrity, and innovation, and to defend the public good in everything that we do. And wise corporate governance is completely consistent with our view of how business should be carried out. This matters to ACC especially because professional accountants have an integral role to play as champions of corporate governance, wherever they work and wherever they are. And it's truer than ever before that the finance function touches every aspect of a business, and accountants are perfectly placed and prepared to serve as guardians of the public good and defenders of sage and responsible governance. ACCS training, the strategic skills that members acquire, the breadth of professional experience coupled with the ethical commitment that they have are precisely the qualities that business need to advance their commitment to corporate governance. And I know that this is a role that professional accountants and indeed our members are very eager to perform. Let me very briefly touch upon a recent research piece that we do on the tenets of good corporate governance. And our debate revealed that a widespread belief was that the long-term prosperity of society continues to rely on sound and sustainable businesses, and that we're equally certain, as I've also already mentioned, that is good corporate governance that actually advances this positive relationship. So as you can see in the slide, we concluded and distilled 5 tenets, and I will invite you to read that report for a deeper meaning of these tenets. I'll just touch on them very briefly. If I can mention the relationship between companies and society to start with, in this piece we argue that aligning the vision of a business with that of society will continue to help to prosper organizations for the long term. And a business ensuring that it's much more part of its community, of the society that is part of, will increase the chance of not only surviving but thriving. This is true for every type of business, and as I mentioned before, professional accountants can support this endeavor, especially at social and environmental value creation in many ways due to their existing skill set. If I go to the tenet of diversity and balance, much of this has been already discussed and proven about the benefits of diverse viewpoints in a board. Diverse voices not only allow businesses to consider a broader range of scenarios, but it also allows to take different perspective and being able to include a greater number of stakeholders. And this is very healthy for a business, as we all know, because it enables a very robust decision making and much better informed strategic discussion, which in turn leads to better performance. The issue of balance is linked but separate to this idea. And if we look at gender balance, if we look at half of the boardroom or an executive team made up of only one gender, rather than a diversity of genders, then companies really have to look at how they are actually looking at recruitment and their career progression policies to ensure that they bring that diversity. And as leaders in organizations, all of us, all of you, have the power to influence these behaviors. Professional accountants indeed have to stand up to these values and demonstrate that by example. And ACCA continues to be committed through our training, our continuous professional development to ensure that all our stakeholders learn about diversity and inclusion and how they can bring that to their organizations. Enabling an effective board as the third tenet, and while we know that recognizing, as I mentioned, a diverse and balanced board is good, it's not enough. And we know that the specialist skills that board members bring is paramount, and they have to ensure that that is wrapped around a wider strategic context of the organization, so that the board can continue to scan the horizon, identify what's happening around the world, plenty of that at the moment, and really deciding what to do. And this year is, the last 12 months, has been a real test for boards, so that they can continue to recognize the objectives that they have, but being able to pivot to create value sustainably for organizations. Executive pay is the fourth tenet, and this is an issue that continues to raise heat and passion amongst the public, and there's no greater threat for a business reputation that how it rewards to its leaders. We know that there's a series of policy interventions around the world that are taking place to address this very issue. And we know that one of the keys to do that is absolutely transparency and fairness. The introduction of greater disclosure requirements has indeed highlighted the challenge of communicating pay policy. There are many good reasons why organizations have to pay executives differently than the rest of their employees, but business have to be explaining why and why they differ. And it's indeed very important, and increasingly so, the employees' perceptions of the fairness of pay policy across the company. And these perceptions are also closely related to the understanding of the organization's accountability. Leaders have to be able to be behind the ideas on pay structures, ensuring that they're logical, fair, and reasonable. And lastly, gatekeepers of corporate governance. Our last sentence, this is indeed a rising trend for stakeholders beyond the boardroom to have a great interest in the business of governance. And indeed, this is very much welcome. It's not fear or resented. And again, another example where professional accountants and ACCS come into play. The coming decade is going to continue to see, we've seen that already, how boards will rethink risk and in turn pointing towards finance and accounting professionals to navigate these challenges. So a robust management framework for achieving organizations' objectives while ensuring the standards of corporate governance are being followed will be absolutely crucial. We'll see that not only direct investors, as I said, but also other stakeholders are going to be very interested in the organization's governance. And we see that through a better informed, digitally enabled, social media savvy population that wants to know more about businesses' performance. So we need to ensure that we cater for this new generation of super connectors and consumers that are going to demand sustainability from the organizations they associate with. So I hope that with these few words, I've been able to signpost to the future direction of corporate governance, the role that indeed ACCS and professional accountants can bring and provide additional value. And as I said, we've seen that from the very beginning, 4 centuries ago, it's really with the consent and the permission of people that businesses will prosper and thrive. And this is more than ever true now in 2021. At ACCA, we believe that ourselves as an organization and our members can be part of this positive change, and we look forward to continue to work with the Institute of Directors to be able to do that, showing genuine leadership both in India but also globally. So with that, I hand back over to Graham, and I congratulate again all the award winners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucia, but please don't escape, because I seem to be getting a whole stream of questions coming past my screen, and I've got a feeling that you've got 1 or 2 members out there who are watching today. In fact, I think you might have quite a few. There seems to be a consistent trend in some of their questions, and I think it would be quite interesting just to get a quick response. They seem to revolve around their development as members. I think the message about their engagement with sustainability and the important role that they've got to liaise with stakeholders is something that they're very keen to grasp. The questions seem to revolve around how can the ACCA best equip them with the skills to be able to do those 2 streams of work, understanding sustainability and having the communication skills to engage with stakeholders. I don't know if you'd like to try and answer that.
Yeah, most definitely. And fantastic to know that many of our members have joined this event. That's, I think, the true sense of our partnership with IOD. Indeed, ACCA has been committed to sustainability for quite a number of years, in fact, and from the early stages of the concept of sustainability coming into play, we, in fact, were able to place sustainability at the heart of our curriculum. So throughout, especially at what we call the strategic professional level, so the later papers of the ACCA qualification, we've continued to strengthen the curriculum around sustainability, around the ESG corporate governance principles that I was talking about before, and we'll continue to do that. Our curriculum gets updated on a yearly basis. But for those, of course, that are members, we are, and we have during the last 12 months, more than ever before, seen a tremendous interest for members to actually gain continuous development from ACCA. So we have more than ever before a range of courses, webinars, conferences. We just recently had in December a conference that we call Accounting for the Future, and many of the topics were around sustainability. So what I would say to the members is absolutely, it's not only in the agenda, but it should be hitting your email inboxes, and we'll be very keen and happy to continue to understand the needs and the specific needs, because we understand that sectorial approach is one of the areas that we're looking more and more. So not only understanding sustainability in its widest sense, but actually from a sectorial point of view. But I just want to give both the IOD participants and our members the commitment and the confirmation that that's indeed one of the areas that ACCA has been focusing, but it will be focusing even more in months and years to come.
Great. Thank you very much indeed. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Not at all, not at all. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. So thank you, Lucia, for your fascinating address. That's wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're very pleased to have Mr. Praveen Kumar, who is the Secretary of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship for the Government of India. It's an interesting link, really, perhaps, with the conversation just then with Lucia. Mr. Kumar is a member of the 1987 batch of IAS officers from the Tamil Nadu cadre. He's spent more than 3 decades of distinguished service with the government. He's handled various important positions in the state government as well as central government. He was involved in policy formulation and implementation of various programs. He himself is on a bit of an important mission to empower the country's youth and to continue the nature of Skill India mission in building India as one of the skill capitals of the world, and also to strengthen the technology backbone that India's skill development represents. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great pleasure in welcoming Mr. Kumar for his guest of honour address.
Sorry. This is one of the new skills I have to pick up. To unmute yourself when you start speaking and mute when you are not. Yeah. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and the foremost, the winners of the Golden Peacock Awards, who are going to be given the awards today. A very warm good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where on the globe you are. So that's a good thing about virtual meetings, that you cover the entire world sitting at your place. So when Mr. Ashok Kapoor asked me to attend this ceremony, he also gave me a topic to talk on. India sets the vision for the world as a rising global player in the 21st century. I thought that skill development, while a very important component in India's rise to becoming a global player in 21st century, is not the whole and complete of that journey. But then Mr. Ashok Kapoor, I couldn't say no, because last time I had said no, so this time, second time, I can't even say no again. So I decided, okay, I'll take up the challenge and talk on this subject, and then try to bring in skill development, how skill development has also contributed to India's rise in this 21st century, and how it is going to contribute to India's rise in the 21st century. Now, India is historically being known as a very low or low middle income country, traditionally. But because of economic growth over the last 3 decades, it has transformed itself from a big player on the international stage to a very important leading actor with a very large GDP, top 3, top 4 GDP, if you talk in terms of PPG terms. And before this COVID-19 struck the entire world, we were marching comfortably enough towards the 5 trillion economy. But then the COVID struck and life went into disruption. The entire life, I mean, not in the country, but internationally, life went into disruption, and trade, international travel, all those components of our GDP came to a halt. But even at the time of the COVID, one could see the country, the way it addressed the issues. See, during the entire COVID period, even when there was a very severe lockdown, rated as one of the strictest lockdown, the necessities remained in operation. The power supply continued. Your tap when you open, water used to come out. Your garbage was being picked up. You could access the groceries. A new army of skilled personnel came up who delivered things to your home since you couldn't go out, who provided services to your home. So all these things evolved in an organic manner within 1 month, 45 days of this disruption affecting all of us. And in this, I'm not counting the frontline health workers who are there right at the front, tackling COVID directly, and the law and order machinery who ensured that this absence of activity does not lead to more arson and theft. All those things don't take place. So they continue to function at a higher level of operative readiness. And government also took an early action to kickstart the economy through the booster packages, which was called the Atmanirbhar package. And the total financial impact of this package was almost 13% of the GDP, around 27.1 lakh crores, 2.7 million crore rupees. But this COVID disruptions also was taken as an opportunity. It led to new initiatives, new reforms. There was a renewed focus on increasing the domestic manufacturing capacity and the productivity. Many steps were taken, like with the focus of ease of doing business, like reducing compliances. Mission mode, the country has converted into how the compliance burden of a new industry should be reduced. There was a study which showed that almost 5,000 compliances are required for someone to open a new unit. But that in a mission mode from the top highest echelons, it's been monitored how these compliances need to reduce. New reforms were brought in, be it labor reforms, agriculture reforms, all these things were brought in. Then to encourage areas of production where India was traditionally dependent on import quite a lot, even for export, the raw materials had to be imported. So there PLI scheme, productivity linked incentive scheme, was brought in telecom, renewable energy, pharma. Now with the recent budget, which was brought in last week, that has strengthened this push. We are focusing more on infrastructure, health, innovation, R&D, basic committees, all have become very focused area. Health, a new scheme has been thought of which will develop capacities of entire chain of healthcare, tertiary, primary, secondary, entire thing. Pipe drinking water to every home has been thought of by 2024. Already 2 years back, we managed to, under one of the schemes called Sabhagya, managed to supply power to every home. So now one stage further, we are moving with piped water supply to every home. Then focus, again, second focus was on manufacturing, so that we become integral part of the global supply chains by developing core competencies and adopting cutting edge technologies. Infrastructure was another focus areas, be it road, rail, urban infrastructure, power, distribution company reforms, cutting edge areas such as hydrogen mission, how to use hydrogen mission for the power supply, storage, other things. Financial sector reforms in terms of bad bank, dispute resolution. And one more thing, we realized that so far we have been behind the technology curve. The world used to develop and we used to adapt to an MU. We need to be ahead of the technology curve. We need not be follower, we need to be leader. So focus on innovation and R&D has been done with the National Research Foundation. With a humongous amount of money has been brought in. We expected that all these initiatives, all these second generation reforms is going to consolidate the economic achievements we have done over the last 3 decades and help us grow still faster in quest to become a global power. And India has not been shying away from its international role. It has been leading in the Paris Climate Agreement, and all of you must be aware that in the renewable energy sector, it has set very ambitious targets, and we are in a position to achieve those and achieve its global commitments much ahead of time. And all those things, where does my ministry come in? Skill Development Ministry. Where does it come in? I will frame it in this way. My responsibility is to ensure that for all these initiatives, skilled manpower is available in the country so that these initiatives are not derailed. So we have to develop an ecosystem, a regulatory framework, so that depending on the needs of the industry, of the economy, the skilled manpower is continuously brought in and nothing gets halted because we don't have manpower who is skilled enough for this job. And as you know, world trade today is driven on very small margins. Other things may equal the skill sets of people, the productivity will determine the competitiveness of our product. So we not only need to have a large number of skilled person, but quality skilled person. And the second way, because what we see that internationally, there is going to be a shortage of skilled personnel because of the way demographic structure is there in the developed countries with the aging population. India is blessed with a demographic dividend which will be there for another 5 decades, where the dependent population will be much less compared to the productive population. So we are in a position to supply skilled manpower to other parts of the world where the younger population is not there to run the factories, to run the farm, the agricultural lands, etc. All those activities. India should be ready to satisfy this need of the world, which is likely to arise. It has already arisen in some of the sectors. But so how do we capitalize on it? We need a very focused approach on that. And we need to move up the value chain of skilling. The age-old 2 decades back, when based on low-level outsourcing work and BPO work, India developed a very big IT workforce. Now we need to move up the value chain. For that, what do we need to do? We need more quality institution. We need more hands-on technical education. We need more vocational training institutions, internships, apprenticeships, cutting-edge technology, futuristic skills, working knowledge in English and perhaps one other language, Spanish, French, Mandarin, something. Our skilled workers need to be oriented towards all this. Greater industry connect. It need not be only in the classrooms or the labs. It needs to be with industry, and improve the skilling system as far as training, assessment, benchmarking with international standards, and also try to integrate the formal education and vocational education. The country, we have taken a number of steps. I think I'm happy to say that the Indian skilling sector is driven by the industry, be it the short-term training, be it the long-term training, or the apprenticeship. The short-term training is run basically by the industry-driven sector skill councils, which are by the industry, of the industry, for the industry, which control the short-term training, design courses, run the courses. Funding may be government, the regulatory structure is the government, but they decide what job roles should be focused on, what kind of assessment has to be done. And entire training is through training partners. Government training institutions are very minimal, only 3,000 in this large country. But balance is more, whether it be long-term training or be it short-term training, it is driven by the industry itself. Then we need to incorporate life skills, English, entrepreneurship, employability as part of our skill courses, so that our children who do this skill training are ready to be employed anywhere in the world. And if they want, they can also become a job giver instead of job seeker by going into entrepreneurship. New age technologies has already been brought in, both in short-term training and long-term training. That has to be expanded. We are working on that. A new regulator has come in the sector to ensure accountability and uniformity and quality in the skill training across the country. India is a big country and there's a big challenge. International benchmarking we are doing with 5 countries. We have already benchmarked some qualifications, skill qualifications. UAE, UK, Saudi Arabia, Australia, that has been benchmarked, where our qualification has been benchmarked with these countries' qualification. Even Japan, we had an agreement recently for sending specified skilled workers in 14 sectors. Even the current budget has focused on this, expanding our international outreach and popularizing this apprenticeship by making this our regulatory structure for apprenticeship less stringent, more friendly. So we are working on that also. Other thing which COVID has helped us, which I think is that now that work from home is going to become increasingly very common, especially in some sectors. India is well placed because now with our IT going right up to the villages, in the next couple of years, all our villages even will be having a digital infrastructure. And in financial inclusion, the entire thing being done digitally. I think we are well placed for our people to work from home for international companies also. So that is another opportunity which COVID has given us, and we are working on that. So as I said, the framework has been laid to take our seat as one of the leading nations in the 21st century. Now it is up to us, those in the government and those in the corporate sector and those outside this corporate sector and government, to see that these are implemented and translated into account. And as you participants, the directors in companies and IOD in particular, I mean, that is a very great responsibility to see that the companies who run by your advice and who you guide towards greater profitability, capitalize these opportunities while keeping on their role as a responsible corporate entity, as Lucia mentioned, as sustainability and corporate entity. So I leave this with his directors to chew on that how and the role as directors company they can, while ensuring corporate governance sustainability, how they can ensure that the framework which has been set up can be capitalized by the companies in which they are functioning, and in turn allow the country to grow and develop much more than planned for. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar. Again, I seem to be getting lots of interesting comments being passed through. And I wonder, just to try and pull them together a little bit, would you mind if I ask a quick question?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Quite a lot of people are very fascinated by Skill India and by that initiative. And I'm just wondering if you could perhaps put this into context of a parent and what a parent could be doing to help encourage and develop their children so that they can take advantage of the opportunities that are now being opened to them.
Yeah, that's no. Unfortunately, the way our society has evolved over the years, the formal education is the preferred way of bringing up the children. The vocational education has been treated as a second level of education for those who are not able to go into the formal system. So I always give the example: a Uber driver may get a higher salary than a BPO operator working on a computer in a BPO center, in a call center. But socially, the call center employee will be regarded as higher than a Uber driver. That is the way it has evolved. So we are trying to counter that. 2-3 things we have done. One thing, the new education policy which has come aims at sensitizing all students by 2025 on the vocational part, so that each student, when he passes the class 12, then he will be able also have a vocational skill with him. So this negative image about having a vocational qualification, that will reduce when the mass population itself is doing vocational education. And then we have in each district, we are trying to bring a counseling center where any youth can walk up and say that I want to do skilling and what are the opportunities available and where I can do the training. Now the other problem is information asymmetry. Even if I want to do skilling, I don't know where to go to. That kind of information is, I know which school is there in my neighborhood, but which skilling center is there, I may not be knowing. So and we are developing an app also. I want to skill myself. The name of the app. It will be beta version will come in a month's time, where a person can go into the app, find out what is his general psychometric test to aptitude for skilling, which skills, find out what are the opportunities in various skills, what are the jobs he can get, and then register himself for skilling. So that will bring the information to his home. And we are working also with schools that in the pre-final year we can, like the way colleges go and campaign and canvas for the students to come. So we also will go and canvas for people to come on scaling. Multiple steps, like we have started convocation in our long-term vocational training centers called what we call ITI, Industrial Training Institute. The colleges have convocation. So we have started this concept of convocation in these ITIs. So that is a pride, you throw your hat, jump, take a photograph, you have qualified. It's not that you have done some menial job training and you are going to take up a job. So bringing pride back into your education, that's the first step. Then the parents will get convinced that's okay. It is not something which is below us, below the family kind of thing to doing it. We're working on those lines.
Thank you very much. A real cultural revolution that's really being introduced there, I think. Absolutely fascinating. Thank you. Thank you so much for another very wonderful address. It's been a real inspiration this morning to listen to the different speakers. We are going to move on now to celebrate the achievement of some of those very well performing assessed organisations. This is the virtual Golden Peacock Awards presentation ceremony for 2021, of winners from 2020, I have to stress. One of the prime initiatives of the IOD has been the institution of the Golden Peacock Awards. They have become a hallmark of excellence, both locally and increasingly globally. And this year's winners are particularly special to us because the Golden Peacock Awards complete 30 years of celebration. I actually had the honour of being present at the meeting, which must have been in 1990, when the idea of the awards was very first floated. And I really don't think that any of us there that day could have imagined quite what respectability the Golden Peacocks would achieve over that period of time. Today, they receive over 1,000 applications each year in the variety of categories that are represented. And this is really down to the very robust, transparent evaluation process that have been used based on very clear criteria that were implemented from the very first few awards. So it's been a tremendous achievement on behalf of the IOD to have made it happen, and the awards continue to grow. Excuse me. So today we're going to roll out the red carpet for this year's winners. I hope that the technology is with us and is behind the scenes going to be clicking seamlessly into place. I am going to have to just issue one gentle nudge to the recipients. Excuse me. You will have the opportunity to say a few words of thanks after you've received the award. It really is a few words. I have got my timer by the side of me. So I'm afraid I will be nudging you if you do go over the time that you've been given. So please keep it succinct. So ladies and gentlemen, the very first of the awards, the Golden Peacock Awards. I need to get my paperwork in front of me. The first winner this year is in the for the Golden Peacock Global Award for Sustainability, the Global Award for Sustainability, in the chemical and fertilizer sector. The winner is the Sekisui Chemical Company from Japan, and collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Manobu Akubu, who is the Senior Manager of ESG's Management Department. Sekisui Chemicals from Japan, contributing to society and creating value that's useful to society through their business activities in the form of CSR, put the corporate philosophy of the 3S spirit into practice. They are engaged in a large number of CSR activities that are grounded in ESG's management and to continuously change and evolve in order to achieve sustainable growth and innovation. Mr. Manabu Okubo, Senior Manager ESG, your award.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, Dr. Agnihori, members of the Institute of Directors, and other distinguished members of the awards secretariat. Sekisui Chemical are very honored and humbled that we have been chosen for the Golden Peacock Global Award for Sustainability 2020. And I would like to say just a few words of appreciation and about our commitment to sustainability. 60 Chemical Group was founded in 1947 as a manufacturer of plastic products. And since then, we have been developing products and technologies for a sustainable society, which now we call SDGs. Last year, the COVID-19 pandemic changed the world completely, and I feel that many issues have been raised in society as a whole. Regardless, we continue to be committed to a sustainable society. For example, we have set the target to reduce our own GHG emissions to zero by the year 2050. In closing, I would like to mention that the path to solving social issues is very challenging, but we think this is possible to tackle on these challenges together with the other companies gathered here today that have received this prestigious award. Thank you again for the award and invitation to this ceremony.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Manabu Kubo. The second award winner in the engineering services sector is Stantec from Canada, and let's have a round of applause for Stantec. Stantec Canada have displayed highest order sustainability reporting achievements that summarise their progress against their commitments to sustainability, as well as their support for the UN's Global Compact and Sustainable Development Goals. Their sustainability is built into the premise of positive economic results that are possible while they effectively manage environmental, social and governance issues. Collecting the award on their behalf is Emily Rousseau, who is the country head for India.
And I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of Stantec. Stantec has had an official and purposeful focus on sustainability for more than 15 years. We provide professional consulting services to communities around the globe through more than 22,000 designers, engineers, scientists, and project managers. We provide sustainability services across all of our geographies and business operating units, with a focus on supporting the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Our team in Pune, India provides design and administrative support services to our more than 350 offices across the globe and lives our values through a wide variety of activities supporting our local community. We are very proud that Stantec was recently named by Corporate Knights as the 5th most sustainable corporation in the world, the 1st most sustainable company in North America, and one of the 50 best citizens in Canada. This honor is primarily due to our focus on providing clean revenue and investments in clean innovation. Our CEO is one of the few company leaders that is certified through Envision, the sustainability standard for infrastructure. And we have also endorsed the UN Women's Empowerment Principles, are setting science-based emission reduction targets for our operations, and have committed to be carbon neutral by 2023 and net zero by 2030. On behalf of Stantec, I would like to congratulate all the other companies being recognized here today and to thank the Institute of Directors and the jury for recognizing our company with the great honor of this Golden Peacock Award for Sustainability. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Stantec. Excuse me. The third winner in this year's awards in the financial sector, representing banking, is the Doha Bank from Qatar. Doha Bank of Qatar is one of the largest banks in the state of Qatar, having a dominant position in the GCC's banking landscape. It provides domestic and international banking services, and innovation and excellence are being covered as part of the bank's balanced scorecard, and all of its strategic initiatives are driven by board leadership. Collecting the award on their behalf this year is Dr. Sitharaman, who is their Chief Executive Officer. Dr. Sitharaman.
Thank you very much for the great honor. We are truly humble. Distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure and privilege to be an integral part of the celebration. My compliments to one and all other winners as well. With the changing face of the world, every part of the world, every industry is getting redefined. It's a huge transformation purely on account of the COVID-19. Now, financial service has gone through an extraordinary set of transformation. For the last 20 years, we have been focusing on sustainability, whether investments or lending. We want to make sure a portion of the risk-weighted capital is allocated for sustainable projects, whether water management, waste management, or sustainable development in terms of trees or beaches. So we want to make sure we reduce the carbon emission through multiple advanced risk management systems which we finance. And also, as a part of the community service across the globe, we ensure we're propagating green culture. We fund many of the projects in line with the UNESCO principle-centered values. So it's our pleasure and privilege. We are soon setting up our carbon trading, carbon exchange programs, and individuals are joining. At retail level, we have issued many initiatives like issuing green credit cards, and again, making sure we clean the beaches. We also reduce, recycle some of these small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. It's our privilege to be integral part of the recognition, and we will continue to put our value chain for sustainable value creation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sitharaman. A very welcome award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The fourth winner of this category in the insurance sector is Assicurazioni Generali from Italy. Let's have the screen pull back for them. Across the Generali Group, sustainability is a tangible part of everyday life, and the value of sustainability includes breeding trust to help better meet business goals and compliance. Assicurazioni Generali is one of the world's largest insurers. It has significant geographical diversification. The company follows the path to sustainable transformation, which has been addressed through strategic initiatives, including climate change as one of the top environmental sustainability concerns. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Anup Rao, who is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer for Future Generali India Insurance. Mr. Rao.
Thank you so much for the honor, and sincere thanks to the jury for nominating us and giving us this award. Also, congratulations to all the other winners. Generali has been through a very difficult year. Last year, that was the year of the pandemic, but happy to share that we rose to the occasion. We issued a green bond for 600 million euros. We set up an extraordinary fund for all our stakeholders. We came up with new insurance green products, and there's a bunch of things we did to create awareness around sustainability in the society. This award is a shot in the arm for us, and I would say much like the vaccine which is awaited and hopefully put COVID-19 behind us. Thank you again, once again, so much for the honor, and congratulations to all the other winners too. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, and congratulations too. We move on to the fifth sector, which is the oil refining sector, and the award winner in this category is Emirates National Oil Company from the UAE. Emirates National Oil Company from the UAE is a wholly owned entity of the government of Dubai. It operates in the field of oil exploration and production, supply and operations, and its petroleum products are for both commercial and industrial use. The tangible benefits from energy saving and GHG reduction projects have resulted in an increased return on investment. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Saravanan Dalavoy, who is the responsible for group sustainability. Mr. Dalavoy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Graham. It's our honor on behalf of Enoch. It's my pleasure to accept this award. And we are so happy that we have been actually winning this award consecutively for several years. As everyone has acknowledged, means it's been a challenging year, but in fact, within Enoch, we went extremely aggressive in adopting sustainability policies. In fact, we adopted the region's first, or probably the global first, Enoch Sustainability Index, which has aggressive targets to reduce our GHG and energy intensity, increase our water recycling efforts, diverting waste, and even on social front, we improved our gender diversity and commitment for community volunteering. We are extremely happy, and we thank the jury, especially Dr. Vivek Agnotri and Lieutenant General Alwa for giving us this award, for acknowledging our efforts. And in fact, it actually puts us in a much more bigger responsibility to continue and improve what we are actually doing on sustainability. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dalavoy. And fascinating to hear about the volunteering aspect of your efforts. We move on to the sixth sector. The winner in the telecommunications sector is Koninklijke KPN from the Netherlands. We're sorry that KPN haven't been able to join us today. However, just to mention that they are the most sustainable telecom company in the world. They've continuously been in the worldwide Dow Jones Sustainability Index since 2012. They recognise very much the importance of disclosure on environmental, social and governance matters. So the winners of the sixth sector, Koninklijke KPN from the Netherlands. We move on to the seventh sector in the global awards for sustainability, and that is the textile and apparel sector. And the winners in this category this year are Grasim Industries, Birla Cellulose, pulp and fibre business from India. Grasim Industries are part of the Birla Cellulose, pulp and fibre business for India. Their main products are viscose staple fibre. They've revamped their entire manufacturing process from raw material sourcing right the way through to distribution of their final products. And the same has been done in order to make it in consonance with principles of sustainability. A tremendous effort. Collecting the award on their behalf is their managing director and business director, Mr. Dilip Gaur.
Good afternoon. Sustainability is at the core of our business strategy, and it's an honor for us at Grasim Industries Limited, pulp and fiber business, to be awarded this prestigious award, Global Award for Sustainability for the year 2020. The importance of sustainable business practices has redefined itself in the COVID-19 era, and corporates having it deeply rooted in their strategy have fared better and come out of the crisis stronger. Winning this year's award has reassured us that we are on the right path. Birla Cellulose is among the global leaders in man-made cellulosic fiber industry and have a vision to be global leader in sustainable business practices. Our sites apply closed-loop processes that recycle and conserve natural resources, and it's our goal to meet the stringent EU BAT norms well beyond the local regulatory norms. We are also global leaders in sustainable sourcing practices with #1 ranking in Canopy Hot Button report. We have a range of eco-friendly products like Liva Eco, Liva Reviva and Liva Sponge Shades, which conserve environmental resources and help our value chain comply with the sustainable norms. I would like to thank the grand jury for bestowing one of the most sought after and admired awards for the industry and thank all my employees for their untiring effort in creating a global standard for the benefit of all stakeholders. We are committed to continually improving our performance in sustainable business practices. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you. And that concludes the Golden Peacock Awards for Sustainability Global category. So we now move on to the National Category Awards. And the winner in the first sector of the national category is in the electrical equipment sector. And that is Schneider Electric India from Gurgaon. Schneider Electric from Gurgaon are providing energy and digital solutions for both efficiency and sustainability. They have a program entitled Conserve My Planet, which includes strategic skill developments and rural electrification program, as well as an entrepreneurship element to it. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Venkat Garamella, who is the Head of Strategy and Sustainability. Mr. Garamella.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson, for the introduction. On behalf of our Schneider Electric family, I would like to thank Institute of Directors, Dr. Agnihotri and the jury for recognizing us once again as one of the leaders in sustainability domain. It is indeed a very special feeling to be recognized third time in a row. At Schneider Electric, sustainability is at the heart of our business strategy. Our company's purpose is to empower all to make the most of energy and resources, bridging progress and sustainability for all. We differentiate our sustainability strategy by playing on both sides of the equation. We walk the talk by implementing the best sustainability solution in our ecosystem to manage operations. At the same time, with our complete range of digital offerings, we also take part in solving the sustainability and efficiency problems for our customers. I'm very happy to share with you all that we have delivered savings of 120 million metric tons of CO2 in India and global for our customers by the end of 2020. 70% of our revenues are from our green products. Clearly, our mission is to be digital partners for our customers in supporting their sustainability and efficiency goal. We believe access to energy and digital is a fundamental human right, and we take full responsibility to build a resilient and sustainable future in those areas. Last but not the least, our sustainability initiatives also include best-in-class efforts in the areas of corporate governance, environment, material and resources, energy, water, waste management, and CSR, about which Graham just mentioned. With this, I would like to thank once again IOD and the Golden Peacock for this very, very prestigious recognition. I would also want to thank all the other winners of this coveted award. Thanks a lot. Over to you, Dr. Wilson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garamella. That's fantastic. We'll move on to the second national award winner. This is in the IT sector, and the winner of the award this year is SAP Labs from India, from Bangalore. SAP Labs from Bangalore provide software-related services to a host of industries. They follow collaborative approaches across all sectors of society to make the world more sustainable. Their company promotes new sustainability initiatives throughout the organization and delivers a portfolio of solutions to help customers manage their green line for sustainability, competitive performance, best practices, and embedded software capabilities from end-to-end processes. Ladies and gentlemen, collecting the award on behalf of SAP Labs from Bangalore is Ms. Sindhu Gangadharan, who is the Senior Vice President and Managing Director.
Hi, everybody. We're truly honored to receive the 2020 Golden Peacock Award for Sustainability. From all of us here at SAP Labs India, I thank the jury members for recognizing our efforts in creating a better and a more sustainable world. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the winners who share the same goal like us of a more sustainable future. I think it goes without saying that the time has come to prioritize sustainability. Now, towards the goal of creating a positive economic, social, and environmental impact, we at SAP take to market products and services that meet the sustainability challenges of all our customers. We also lead by example through our sustainable business operations and practices. This in short means that we seek to embed sustainability in everything we do, our solutions, our operations, and our social investments. We recently also launched the Climate 21 program to build analytical and transactional capabilities into our enterprise solutions to help our customers understand but also minimize the greenhouse gas footprint of their products and as well as their operations along their supply chains. We're also taking several measures on the ground. For instance, around 80% of the total energy consumed at the SAP Labs India Bengaluru campus is being derived from various green energy sources. If you look at our organic waste conversion system, we convert all the food and garden waste into manure. The wastewater that's generated at the campus, for example, is treated and recycled for gardening and other purposes. In fact, 70% of SAP Labs India's transport operations are run by electric vehicles with in-house EV charging stations right on our campus. We're also very proud to be a campus who was free of single-use plastic bottles. I thank you all once again for honoring SAP Labs India with the Golden Peacock Sustainability Award. Let's all strive to work towards a better world for tomorrow.
The third sector in the national awards is the mining and metallurgy sector, and the winner in that sector is the Bharat Aluminium Company from Korba. Bharat Aluminium in Korba has a diversified range of aluminium products. They started CSR back in the year 2004, when it was really quite new to most of us, and it's now touching the lives of lakhs of people across their areas of operation. The board ensures that the company strives for improved digital and technology solutions to encourage action that leads to zero harm, zero waste, zero discharge, and continues to optimize the use of natural resources. Collecting the award on behalf of Bharat Aluminium is Mr. Abhijit Pati, who is the Chief Executive Officer and Director. Mr. Pati.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Graham, and greetings to everyone present over here. My special thanks to the jury member, the Institute of Director of India. Also, congratulations to other award winners in this particular prestigious program. My name is Abhijit Pati. I am CEO and whole-time director of Bharat Aluminium Company Limited. I would like to express my pleasure and gratitude on Balco being recognized as the winner of the Golden Peacock Award of Sustainability for the year 2020. The prestigious award recognizes as the hallmark of corporate excellence worldwide because of its independence, integrity, and transparency. This award bears a testimony of Balco's continuous endeavor towards the concept of sustainable manufacturing by focusing on economic, environmental, and as well as the social aspect of the metal manufacturing activities. Balco's sustainability strategy is focused on evolving production process to become more efficient with increased use of the green and the clean technologies. Balco has effectively optimized and excelled its overall performance through its focused approach to operational excellence practices, innovations, analytics, resource optimization, waste utilization, and its overall impact on local communities with significant commitment on the principle of zero harm, zero waste, and zero discharge. It is our endeavor and commitment to the global platform that we continue to perform responsibly, sustainably, and contribute a very positive impact in the overall socio-economic development of our country and at large at the globe. I would like to dedicate this award to the continuous effort and determination of everyone at Balco family. And once again, congratulations to the other award winners, as thank you very much to the jury and Dr. Graham as well as the Institute of Director of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pati, and congratulations again. The winner of the fourth sector in this award series, the National Sustainability Awards, is the steel sector, and the winner is JSW Steel Limited from Mumbai. JSW Steel from Mumbai has plants located at Vijayanagar, Dolvi and Salem in Tamil Nadu. Their rolling is done at Basind, Tarapur, Kalmeshwar under the banner of JSW Coated Products. Their sustainability vision has been adopted by the board. They have key board decisions on approval on sustainability policy, internal carbon pricing for the company and setting its improvement targets. Collecting the award on their behalf is their Chief Sustainability Officer, Mr. Prabodha Acharya. Mr. Acharya, to you.
Thank you very much. It gives me a great pleasure to be accepting this award on behalf of JSW. First of all, my congratulations to all the winners for their excellent work in the field of sustainability. It is important to acknowledge that the time we are currently in with ongoing pandemic and issues like climate change crisis, water crisis, and many more looming over us, alone we can do only little, but together we can do much. On this note, I'd like to assure you all that JSW is committed to sustainability, not only in words or for compliance, but through our thoughts, actions, and priorities. At JSW, we believe that the only way for us as a business and moreover as a human being to not just survive but thrive is if we all instill ourselves the habit of being sustainable in all our endeavors. At JSW, we are consistently improving and innovating on various fronts, be it our plan to become carbon neutral in our coated facilities, or biodiversity management, or mitigation of climate change impacts. We are also glad to share our learnings and practices through the wonderful initiative of Winners Digest by the Golden Peacock Award team. We look forward to learning from journey of others, and we also understand that only through collaborations we can restore the glory of the planet. Once again, my heartfelt gratitude to our host for bestowing this prestigious award on us, and the entire GPA community for stepping up and taking charge to be more sustainable each day, as we call in JSW, better every day. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Congratulations again. The sector in the national awards is the telecommunications sector, and the winner in that area is the Bharti Airtel organization from New Delhi. Bharti Airtel is a listed company providing wireless services, ICT, home services in the form of broadband and fixed line, tower infrastructure and digital TV services. They have 4,287 lean towers developed, which are 40% energy efficient. 425,000 students from underprivileged communities have been supported in their secondary and higher education as a part of Bharti Airtel's CSR initiatives. A very worthy winner. Collecting the award on their behalf is Ms. Vidyut Gulati, who is their General Counsel and Director Legal. Ladies and gentlemen, Vidyut Gulati.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Dr. Wilson. Respected jury and fellow participants, it's a great privilege for us at Bharti Airtel to be receiving this prestigious award. This is really a tremendous recognition of all our efforts towards ESG, which is essentially focused on building an environmentally conscious business practice with a focus on social responsibility and corporate governance. We do this with a deeper sense of building an inclusive and sustainable culture all across. I am receiving this award on behalf of the entire Bharti Airtel family, all the cross-functional teams who work on a dedicated basis to implement our sustainability initiatives, including in a challenging year such as this one. We assure you that we will continue to raise the bar very high. Thank you very much to the Institute and to all the fellow participants and the jury. Thanks.
Thank you, and congratulations on a tremendous initiative with great impacts. Thank you. We move on to the sixth sector of the national awards, and this is the textile and apparel sector. And the winner this year is Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail Limited from Bengaluru. Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail is a part of the Aditya Birla Group. It's India's largest pure-play fashion and lifestyle entity, producing a range of popular brands. The company instituted a risk management and sustainability committee. The risks that they've identified have included those related to sustainability and climate change and the impact of COVID-19. The company uses sustainable materials such as Lever Eco Viscose. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Chandra Shekhar Chavan, who is their Chief Human Resources Officer. Mr. Chekhan. Sorry, Mr. Chavan.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. This is Naresh Tyagi on behalf of ABFRL. It's delight and pleasure to receive this award on behalf of ABFRL. Aditya Birla Fashion and Retail being the largest fashion retail company, we have multiple brand, Louis Philippe, Van Heusen, Allen Solly, Peter England, Pantaloon. And we take pride that we are able to embed sustainability into our business philosophy. And we started our journey with Re-Earth program, where we have the 10 missions ranging from energy, water, waste, safety, CSR, product, packaging. And we have made good achievement in terms of not only resource optimization, but how we lead sustainability as an example for the industry and the sector which we operate in India. In terms of ESG, we are the Asia top ranking company by Dow Jones Sustainability Index, and we are happy that we have scored very good in environment, social and governance, even in that our sector, not only in emerging market, but being in Asia. On behalf of ABFRL, I once again thanks IOD and GPA for giving this award to us. And it comes with a lot of responsibility, not only to sustain our journey, but how we set the example for industry and for geography which we operate to be more sustainable in future. We are taking a lot of thing for recycling, reuse and renewable energy, which we are sure to further accelerate in our textile and apparel sector where we operate in Asia. Thank you once again, and I congratulate
all other winner for this award ceremony.
Thank you, Mr. Tiachi. I do apologise. I was working from two sets of notes and got the wrong person to be receiving the award. I do apologise for that. Mr. Tiachi is the Chief Sustainability Officer for the organisation IODGLOBAL, and congratulations to you and your colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got my apology for having missed his name incorrectly on that as well. I do apologise for that one again. So we have reached the end of the first series of the awards. Before we move on to the second series for corporate governance, we have a special address. We're delighted to be welcoming Mr. Byron Laughlin. Byron is the global head of board engagement for NASDAQ Governance Solutions from the USA. And he's going to be speaking to us today about board effectiveness and excellence and preparing boards for the future. He's a graduate from Harvard Business School and James Madison University. He is one of the very highly recognized leaders in the governance community, developing unique products that address board dynamics, corporate culture, accountability, and performance. He's been advising a large number of board chairs, boards, committees, directors, and executive management teams in the full range of corporate governance matters. He leads board assessments and boardroom training for NASDAQ Governance Solutions. So over to Mr. Byron Rothlin for his special address.
Graham, thank you very much for that kind introduction. I'm going to share a few slides with the group. So hopefully you can see those now.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you. Well, it's a delight for me to be with you today. Since I was a boy, I've had a love of India and many of the cultural blessings that India has bestowed upon our world. And today I want to share a few thoughts about board governance effectiveness. I spend my time working. Most of the time I spend either thinking about and working with clients, coming alongside as a trusted partner, as a representative of NASDAQ. And as you can imagine, many wonder, well, what caused NASDAQ to get into the corporate governance business? Well, as a part of the vision for resilient markets around the world, because NASDAQ technology powers over 120 of the world's stock exchanges, we found it important to focus on corporate governance excellence and to come alongside folks around the world to promote that vision. 10 years ago, I was asked by a professor at Harvard Business School that I had studied under, and I asked him, how effective do you think are corporate boards in the United States at the time? And quite quickly and surprisingly, he responded with not very effective, and we chatted a few more minutes, and it went on, and he said, you know, not only are they not effective, but that they would score on an academic score something close to a D plus range, which surprised me at the time. So this is back in 2008, 2009, when the financial crisis was upon us. And we were looking for, we had in the United States, we had the bill called Sarbanes-Oxley passed. That part of that was the intent to have more transparent markets, and we found that that was not as effective as we had hoped. And what I've found over the last 10 years working with literally hundreds of boards and conducting over 1,000 board assessments with my team and the NASDAQ team is that a core element, and we've heard bits and pieces of this today from others that have won awards, it really comes down to a commitment and a devotion to understanding and engagement holistically in what it means to be an excellent board. So as we know, the fundamentals of a board revolve around certain basic duties of care and monitor and loyalty. These have different phrases around the world, but really they come down to care And that means the board member really knowing the company, caring, engaging in the company, caring about the CEO and the CEO's future, caring about that selection process, if there's going to be one to which the board is responsible. Monitoring, that's the most traditional type of effectiveness, but it's become a different type of monitoring today as we engage in ESG and we consider all stakeholders that our companies impact. And many of you are involved in global businesses or likely will be in the future. So we come alongside and we partner with you as either as clients, as comrades, as friends on the corporate governance stage, because what we're looking towards is a better future for ourselves and our children and our grandchildren and their children. So and what we've found in examining the landscape of board members is that there is an approach of two forms of ways of looking at each individual's effectiveness. And hopefully you can see the screen clearly enough, but one of the first elements of board effectiveness that I find is that it's about checking the ego at the door. Many board members find that if they bring too much of their ego into the room, it either takes up too much air, as it's said sometimes, or that person interrupts too much and doesn't allow for active listening around the table among all board members. Because as we examine this idea around board effectiveness, we can't help but also talk about diversity of thought in the boardroom. And then that leads to deeper examination of what it means to be diverse. And what does a diverse board do versus a board that is not diverse? So what we found, what you see on this effective versus ineffective board member chart, these are directly from board evaluations that I've conducted over the last 10 years. And these are various statements that people have made, directors have made, as to what comprises or what characteristics embody an effective board member, and contrastingly, an ineffective board member. And you can see a few there. Things like a highly effective board member contributes to building value for the company. The person embodies integrity. Humility is brought to the table. Again, that checking the ego at the door. Conversely, a less effective director is inflexible or overly emotionally charged. These are the types of things that we hear in terms of the individual director. So how does one go on their journey of this effectiveness? We have to have definitions around it. And where we start and encourage folks to start is at the vision, mission, values, purpose, goals proposition, looking at the corporate strategy, drilling down deeply on what is the relationship between board and company culture, and know things like the annual report, the competitive landscape, who are your key stakeholders, and what does your brand represent? What is your brand reputation? An interesting study has been done around this concept of intentional blindness. This helps us think about biases in the boardroom and the need for different thinking in the boardroom. Intentional blindness is where you're so focused on one area of a study, and this is a radiological study that was conducted with 25 radiologists, and they're looking for something like the white dot in the lower left-hand corner. When they miss, then embedded here, if you look very closely, is an image of a gorilla. And 21 of the 25 radiologists, and this was given to top radiologists at universities in the United States, and 21 of the 25 missed the gorilla on the slide because they were looking for something white, where what we find is different types of thinking identify different elements in this radiological study. There's others that have been done with this where people are passing balls among one another, and you can see it on the internet. It's Daniel Simmons is a professor here in the United States that has conducted extensive work on intentional blindness. But what I've found through this study is it helps us understand difference of thought and the reason why we need different people with different backgrounds in the boardroom to help provide for those core duties. Because we live in a highly volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world today. These are the components of disruption in the marketplace. And so, culminating our study of board effectiveness, we found that there's 5 key quotients of an effective board member. And these include the IQ, the EQ, the SQ, the IQ squared, and the RQ. And those are the intellectual quotient, the emotional quotient, the spiritual quotient, the innovation quotient, and the relational quotient that comprises both an effective board member and an effective board. And I'll be happy to answer any questions, but hopefully that gives you a glimpse both into what we are a part of at NASDAQ and devoted to these kinds of principles as a company, and coming alongside our clients and developing products that in which they're able to become more effective companies. And those products include ways to communicate with one another through technology and board portals. Our board portals called NASDAQ Board Vantage, and then our board engagement products around CEO evaluations, board evaluations, and disclosure questionnaires, and then our ESG reporting tool, which is named One Report. So I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about board effectiveness.
Thank you very much, Byron. Absolutely fascinating to hear somebody for once bringing in themes of individual psychology and psychopathology into the debate about diversity. A really important contribution. Thank you. There are some questions that have just been flowing past me, so I'm going to grab 3 of them. First of all, can you just explain what you see as the vision and strategy for NASDAQ's board engagement team within the South Asia region?
It went out for 1 second there. One more time.
It was somebody was particularly interested in how you're going to bring your work to the South Asia region.
We have brought our work to the South Asia team. We are conducting board evaluations presently. When I started the Center for Board Excellence and then it became a part of NASDAQ, we immediately began studying and understanding and contrasting the governance codes around the world. So the company's codes in India and United Kingdom, South Africa, initially, and as we've seen, this has grown around the world, and there's a strong collaborative element. So our governance team works in specifically in India. We have an office in India, and we're committed to the Indian market because it's one of the future great markets, as it's and probably the largest economy. I have a long-term view, frankly, and my father was a diplomat and spent a lot of time in Asia for 15 years. He told me that always keep an eye on India. They will be the largest and most sophisticated economy in the world. And so India is a key component to our engagement and partnership presently in Asia.
Thank you. The second question, which is interesting, that has popped up here, you talk about spiritual quotients, and wonder if you could sort of expand on how that capacity for spiritual connection can be developed in a board.
So I've done quite a bit of work, and I will reflect on it around the world, and I rarely find a business leader. I mean, by definition, leaders bring some sort of spiritual worldview to their leadership. And when I talk about spiritual, I'm not narrow in the sense of narrowing it down to a single spiritual thought, but values, commitment, how one honors their neighbor, the ideas of diversity and inclusion, of bringing and inviting as many people to the table of business and capitalism, as that's what most of us are doing at this table today. And what do we really believe in as a company? What are our core values? And having that as a part of the discussion, because how we conduct business impacts our communities, and hence why things like ESG and stakeholder capitalism have become so important today. Now, within that is also a growing and important debate around tolerance and spiritual tolerance around the world.
Very interesting. I'm really looking forward to having you present at one of the real live, where we all get together and chat conferences. It's a bit hard to have a one-to-one conversation in front of 500 and something people. I really look forward to being able to do so.
Well, thank you. I look forward to it also. I'm quite forlorn sitting here in an office alone when I desire to be there with you.
Well, hopefully that will be remedied very, very soon. Let's all keep our fingers crossed.
Terrific.
Thank you very much indeed, Byron Laughlin. A fascinating address, a very, very important aspects of the way in which corporate governance needs to focus and to move forwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are going to move on to the second part of the awards ceremonies this evening. We have the felicitation of the winners of the Golden Peacock Awards for Corporate Governance, both global and national categories. Again, the award winners for 2020, as we're so early into 2021. We're going to have the same kind of flow that we had before. We're going to start with the global awards. And the first award is in the, if I can get my papers correctly in front of me, is in, we have gone wrong here, is in the financial services sector. And the winner in that area is Mastercard Incorporated from the United States. Mastercard probably needs very little introduction. They work to connect, empower an inclusive digital economy that benefits everyone everywhere by making transactions safe, simple, smart, and accessible. They have very specific principles outlined in their corporate governance guidelines, which lay down expectations from all of their directors. Collecting the award on behalf of Mastercard Incorporated from the United States is Mr. Ari Saka, who is the co-president for Asia Pacific. Mr. Saka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson. Appreciate it. Thank you. I just want to show the certificate, and we've received the award here with me. Thank you so much. Delighted. Would you like me to say a few words, Mr. Wilson?
You'd be very welcome to say a few words, Mr. Saka.
Thank you very much. Honorable Secretary Shri Praveen Kumar, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, President and Global Chair of the Institute of Directors, members of the Golden Peacock Award Secretariat, esteemed jury, distinguished guests, and fellow winners, I am delighted to be here today. It's been an unprecedented year, and I think it has completely redefined humanity at a number of levels, both at personal, societal, and industrial levels. And we believe that, as a company like Mastercard, we've been on this journey of this whole digitization of global trade and digitization of consumer payments. And we really are delighted for the recognition that we are receiving here today. I'd like to highlight today that, we have been on this journey for the last decade or so as a public limited company, and our our commitment towards corporate responsibility, high standards of governance, inclusion, diversity, and really human rights is something we cherish, and we are really building a global franchise as MasterCard expands across the world. I'd also like to just share that, this is a real testament to our courage and conviction, a journey that is defined by so many partners, and we are deeply humbled for the recognition that we get. So I'd like to say thank you to the esteemed jury and many others. I think it raises the stakes for us, and it really pushes us to continue to perform with the highest standards of integrity and decency, something we really believe in the MasterCard system. With that, thank you again for this recognition.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sarkar, and congratulations again to MasterCard. We move on to the second sector in the global awards, and this is in the healthcare sector. And the winner of the award this year is Premier from the United States. Premier have been adopting a top-down approach to implementing a whole variety of initiatives to do with sound corporate governance. Unfortunately, they're not able to be with us today, so congratulations again to Premier, but we're going to move on to the third sector. The third sector of the global awards this year is the IT sector, and the winner of the award is Infosys from India. Infosys is a public limited company. It provides software solutions for financial services and manufacturing. The company has adopted diversity policies and employs people from 144 different nationalities, including 38% of women in its workforce. At Infosys, the goal of corporate governance has been to ensure fairness for every stakeholder: their customers, their investors, their vendor partners, the community as a whole, and the governments of the countries in which they operate. Collecting the award on behalf of Infosys India is Mr. Manikanta, who is their company secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, Infosys.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Graham. We are delighted to receive this prestigious award. This award is yet another jewel in the crown for Infosys. Infosys has always been a pioneer in setting benchmark corporate governance practices. As an early proponent of responsible business, we have embraced our obligation towards ESG into everything we do. We have recently launched our ambitious ESG Vision 2030. ESG Vision 2030 promises to shape and share solutions that serve the development of business communities and articulates our commitments to our stakeholders to scale new heights, specifically in the area of corporate governance. On behalf of the entire Infosys family, I am very grateful to the Institute of Directors for this recognition. This award is an excellent moral booster and will encourage us to continue doing our best work and leap forward. I'm also very thankful to the distinguished juries who accredited the exemplary corporate governance practices of the company. I take this opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation for the support across the value chain, including the board, employees, shareholders, business associates, partners, vendors, and all other key stakeholders. The recent health crisis has proved yet again that Infosys thinks and puts its stakeholders and the societal needs ahead of anything else. This award is dedicated to all those warriors who have worked tirelessly with dedication. Further, I wish all the winners a hearty congratulations and wishing you all a safe and good health. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manikanta, and congratulations again to Infosys. The fourth sector winner in this category is the pharmaceutical sector, and the winner is Cipla Limited from India. Cipla Limited is a global pharmaceutical company. It manufactures and markets pharmaceutical products in both branded and generic categories across multiple therapies in more than 80 countries. Its corporate governance approach is founded on 7 pillars: transparency, fairness, accountability, competence, empowerment, sustainability, compliance, and risk management. Competent leadership is very much emphasized as its overarching principle for the board's effectiveness. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Kedar Upadhyay, who is the Global Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Upadhyay.
The President and Global Chair of the Institute of Directors, all the jury members, and the Golden Peacock Award Secretariat Director General, all my fellow colleagues, and good afternoon. It's a great honor for me to be receiving this award from this prestigious organization, the Institute of Directors, on behalf of Cipla. I'm sincerely grateful for this nomination and pleased to receive this global recognition. In 2018, Cipla has been the recipient of the Excellence of Corporate Governance at national level. At Cipla, we follow the highest standards of ethics and governance, demonstrated by our initiatives in terms of improved policies and practices, enhanced disclosures and compliances, very strong sustainability and internal controls, and simplified but very effective board and secretarial processes. All these efforts put in by our teams spread across the globe have helped us to be capable of receiving this global honor. My heartiest gratitude to our Chairman, Dr. Y.K. Hamid, our CEO, Mr. Umang Vohra, Vice Chairperson, Mr. Samina Hamid, and all the members of the board and the Management and Business Council for being the sponsors of our governance agenda. The team behind the scenes includes all the leaders from finance and sustainability across and all the functions and all the markets, and several colleagues who have helped achieve this recognition. Also, the partnership from our external stakeholders, auditors, and advisors who have equally facilitated towards this grand achievement. With this recognition, we have now raised the bar extremely high for ourselves in corporate governance. As you know, we have done benchmark work and we're at the forefront of enhancing access and affordability for medicines throughout our global markets. And now that we have reached here, I would also like to take this opportunity to share that we have 8 ambitious goals aimed at developing a holistic sustainability roadmap for the future. By 2025, Cipla plans to achieve carbon and water neutrality, zero waste to landfill, antimicrobial resistance stewardship, and green chemistry. I would also like to congratulate winners across other segments. This is symbolic of how all corporates have raised their bar in times like COVID-19 pandemic and cemented my belief in unity and responsibility by each stakeholder. I once again extend my gratitude towards Institute of Directors jury for this recognition. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, and congratulations again to Cipla for a very well-deserved award. Thank you. We move on to the next sector, which is sector number 5, research and analytics. And the winner in that area is Evaluab Holdings from Switzerland. Evaluab Holdings from Switzerland serve their clients and help them to achieve maximum impact by integrating data analytics and research-driven insights to innovation and automation consulting. The company regularly tracks and updates the risk management frameworks to identify and evaluate the nature of new risks, along with severability and criticality. They are building their reputation by providing very high quality services and displaying very high ethical and legal standards in the work that they do. And that is what we're recognizing today. May I invite Mark Vollenweider, who is one of their co-founders and chief strategists, to collect the award on their behalf.
Thank you very much for introducing me. Thank you very much to your organization. We are very humbled to receive the Golden Peacock Award this year for corporate governance again. I would also like to thank Byron Laughlin for his introducing remarks. I think we can fully support all of what you've been saying. And I would just like to highlight a couple of points. First, the culture. It must be a culture of corporate governance. Some process charts won't do it. From bottom up to the top, globally. The board, the executive management, all our corporate functions, and then every employee. Our employees do a collective 8 million hours of research and analytics each year. Unless everybody embraces corporate governance as a culture and a value set, it's not going to work. Second topic is it must be dynamic and adaptable. We've had thousands of changes asked from governments and the external environment on us every single year. The pandemic has added another dimension. So being fast in adapting to dynamic changes in the environment is key also for corporate governance. And then finally, integrating standards into your own supply chain and forward into your client base is critical. We are asking our suppliers corporate governance, and we are also trying to integrate into our clients' corporate governance and risk framework and governance frameworks, including risk, ESG, and lots of other topics. So this is just a few highlights on what we've tried to achieve. The culture is key. Thank you very much again for this recognition. Back to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mark, and congratulations again to Evaluab. We're now in the unusual position of having heard Byron Laughlin explaining the external focus, if you like, of his organisation's work. We're going to recognise the internal focus of NASDAQ's operations. The winner of the 6th sector in the Global Awards is the Stock Exchanges sector, and winning that is NASDAQ from the United States. In case anybody wasn't aware of the fact, NASDAQ is an American multinational financial services organization that owns and operates, obviously, the NASDAQ stock market in the United States, but many other exchanges around the world, including 8 of the European stock exchanges. Its cornerstone of its ethics program has been its Speak Up initiative, under which employees, contractors, and third parties doing business with NASDAQ have multiple opportunities to raise ethical and compliance concerns or even allegations of misconduct. As part of their philosophy, they follow very high standards, as we would expect, of conduct and ethics for employees, officers, and directors. Collecting the award on their behalf is Byron Rothlin, who is their global head of board engagement. Byron.
Graham, thank you again. It really is humbling to hear these nice things said, and and to hear my colleagues that won awards before, Mark and Kender's words were not only inspiring but insightful. Thank you for that. And I want to thank IOD and the judges and those involved here, because we are committed to resilient markets around the world. A central component of the vision for NASDAQ is that we have integrity in the market so that people can trust their trades and that they can trust the marketplace to be liquid and sound as we go about our business days. And I want to especially thank Saurav, Nandi, and Liza, and Rachel, and Megan, our Asia team. And so on behalf of Adina Nelson and our board of directors, I thank you for honoring us with this award, and let's commit together to building a more resilient marketplace around the world that encompasses transparency, openness, and a sense of neighborly engagement holistically in doing good business around the world. So thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Byron. We move on now from the global awards in corporate governance to the national awards for corporate governance. And the first sector that we're going to be recognising is the automobile ancillary sector. And the winner in that area is Minda Industries from Delhi. Minda Industries from Delhi is a technology leader in the auto components sector. The board takes decisions and drives implementation of corporate governance policies, which ensure compliance of diversity, inclusiveness, transparency, equity, accountability, and their many social policies. Collecting the award on their behalf is their Group Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Sunil Bora. Mr. Bora.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. It's really humbling. Thank you and good afternoon, everyone. Much to the members of the Golden Award, the Secretariat, the Institute of Directors, and many thanks to the Golden Peacock Awards jury for this global recognition. We have already received, as you can see, the award trophy and the certificate, and it gives me immense pleasure to accept this award. This definitely encourages us to continue our journey towards excellence with more rigor. Uno Minda Group has always strived for excellence, and at the same time, we have always given importance to our values. Over the years, with hard work, patience, persistence, and guidance from our board and management, we have been able to diligently keep in place a set of rules, controls, policies, and resolutions to show path for an exemplary corporate behavior. Consolidation of our various ancillary businesses under one single umbrella over last 5 years, thereby bringing efficiency, transparency, and significant value creation for stakeholders is a great testimony of high standards set by us. We have nurtured and embraced good corporate governance culture across the organization. This has helped us build trust with customers, investors, our technical collaborators, joint venture partners, and the community at large. With strong corporate governance foundation, the company has transformed into a stable and sustainable large global business enterprise spread across various geographies, which we believe is today respected and admired by all our stakeholders. At this moment, I would also like to thank all our colleagues for their unstinted support in this journey. Lastly, I would again like to thank the organizing team and the jury for recognizing our efforts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bora, and again, congratulations to Minda Industries Limited.
Thank you.
We move on to the second sector, which is the consumer appliances sector, and the winner in this area is Blue Star Limited from Mumbai. Blue Star Limited have an integrated business model which brings them together as a manufacturer, looking at engineering, procurement and construction services provision, and their after-sales activities where they support air conditioning and cooling activities. Their company's corporate governance practices rest on basic principles of transparency, accountability, integrity, reliability, independence and security, delivering sustainable results over a long term. Their reputation rapidly rises and continues to grow. Ladies and gentlemen, collecting the award on behalf of Blue Star Limited is Mr. Neeraj Basur, their Group Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Basur.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Graham. Dear jury members, Lieutenant General Ahluwalia, Dr. Agnihotri, IOD office bearers, distinguished panelists and friends. It is my privilege to accept the Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance for the year 2020 on behalf of Blue Star Limited. We thank the jury and the awards evaluation committee for recognizing our commitment to uphold the principles of and strive for excellence in corporate governance. We at Blue Star continuously strive to adopt and implement best-in-class governance practices. Our actions are governed by our values and principles of transparency, accountability, fair dealings, and the promotion of mutual trust, which are reinforced at all levels within the company. Our governance principles have been enshrined in a set of 11 values called the Blue Star Way. Our governance framework guides us to follow the highest standards of ethical and responsible conduct to create value for all the stakeholders. We firmly believe that for our continued success, we need to consistently adhere to the highest standards of corporate behavior towards every stakeholder and the society at large. Over the years, we have strengthened our governance practices, and it is our endeavor to achieve best-in-class governance standards benchmarked globally. We also believe that our commitment to these governance practices enabled us to successfully respond to the challenges thrown by the pandemic in a resilient manner. I want to congratulate all the winners and extend our deep gratitude to the awards jury and all the organizers one more time. Thank you very much. And back to you, Dr. Graham.
Thank you very much, Mr. Basura, and congratulations again to Blue Star. We move on to the third sector, which is of the national awards, is the electrical equipment sector. And the winner in this area is Signify Innovations from Gurugram. Signify from Gurugram is involved in lighting for professional consumers, and they have decision-making processes which have been deliberately decentralized at different levels of their management team. Worker participation is very highly encouraged, and they have various committees through which worker representation takes place, including their safety committee. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Sumit Joshi, who is their Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer. Mr. Joshi, sorry.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Wilson. On behalf of Signify Board, on behalf of Signify employees and all stakeholders, I want to thank Institute of Directors, Lieutenant General Ahluwalia, Mr. Agnihotri, and all the jury team for having chosen us for this prestigious award. I also want to congratulate all the other winners in this category and also the sustainability awards which everybody received. We are the second biggest light source for the world, the first being the sun. Now, while we continue to use the brand Philips, 3 years back, we separated from Philips and started our own journey under the company name Signify. So we call ourselves a new company, a startup with 120 years of legacy. Sustainability and corporate governance is at the core of everything what we do. We are already a carbon neutral company in India. We are a carbon neutral company worldwide. We are Dow Jones leaders in Dow Jones index of sustainability. In next 5 years, we are committed to double our impact, including making sure that we are going to double the number of women managers across the world. We are especially happy about this award because we are a non-listed public limited company, and corporate governance for us is not by regulation, but it is by choice. This award motivates me as the managing director and also will motivate our board to continue to do a good work and continue to be a very, very responsible corporate citizen of India. Thank you again, all the IOD jury members, and back to you, Dr. Gan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joshi, and congratulations again to Signify Innovations and all of its employees. We move on to the fourth sector, which is engineering, and the winner in the engineering sector is Subro Limited from New Delhi. Suddenly with so many congratulations to Subro. You obviously have a very strong following out there. Subro manufactures automotive air conditioning systems and air conditioners for both residential and commercial premises. Ethical behaviour is something which is practiced in the company by adopting core values, which are respect, commitment, trust and teamwork to ensure very good corporate governance. Collecting the award on their behalf is Mr. Manoj Kumar Sethi, who is the Chief Financial Officer and Executive Vice President responsible for organisational capability. Over to you, Mr. Sethi.
Good evening, Dr. Graham Wilson, the Institute of Directors team, fellow award winners, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a humbling experience to be a part of this ceremony. So with utmost humility and gratitude to the Institute of Directors and the jury, we as Subros acknowledge the receipt of Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance 2020 on behalf of my company, Subros Limited. Subros, as mentioned, has been the leader in the automotive thermal product and design and manufacturing sphere since our inceptions way back in 1985, and we continue to be so. We've been learning and evolving on our corporate practices ever since as a responsible corporate citizen. The recognition for Subros is the result of our commitment to good governance, guided by very able, passionate, committed and experienced members of the board of directors, our executive teams, and the entire Subros family. So governance for conformance and governance for business performance has been the two pillars or the guiding principles of governance at Subros. We emphasize on personal humility and strong professional will amongst all our leadership pipeline across the company. So the executive management remains deeply committed to deployment of these principles. So while winning this award gives us a sense of joy and sense of pride, it brings greater responsibility and accountability on us to further strengthen and raise the standards of governance to the next levels so that our contributions to this planet Earth and the humanity and the sustainability practices that we have is reaching also to the next level. So I conclude by placing on record our humblest gratitude for the recognition and deeper commitment to our stakeholders towards even next levels and higher levels of standards on corporate governance and making greater contribution and impact as a corporate citizen. Our heartiest congratulations to the fellow award winners, and thanks to the entire jury and the organizing team for the wonderful thing, for the wonderful process that we have in the process. Thank you so much, and back to you, Graham Wilson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sethi, and again, congratulations to Subro from New Delhi. We move on to the fifth sector, which is the financial services sector, and the winner in the national award this year is the Housing Development Finance Corporation from Mumbai. The Housing Development Finance Corporation has the primary objective of promoting home ownership by providing long-term finance. Their guiding principle is to emphasize environmental, social and governance parameters, and their board operates under very high standards for a code of conduct and ethics. Collecting the award on their behalf this afternoon is Mr. Conrad D'Souza, who is a member of their executive management and the Chief Investor Relations Officer. Mr. D'Souza.
Thank you, Graham. Members of the jury, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. On behalf of HDFC's Board of Directors, I would like to thank the Institute of Directors for conferring HDFC with the prestigious Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance for the year 2020. I would like to thank the jury members for conferring this honor on us. When HDFC set up in 1977, it was the pioneer of housing finance in India. Our founder, Mr. H.T. Parekh, established HDFC by crossing hurdles to create an organization which was built on the pillars of integrity, reputation, teamwork, steadfastness, and a strong working culture. Hence, this award is also a recognition of HDFC's endeavor to attain the highest standards of corporate governance. The COVID-19 pandemic has created profound challenges for boards across the world. Organizations are being tested on their risk management practices and whether their boards are ably equipped to identify and adequately respond to risks. At HDFC, we have been able to weather such a black swan event effectively because of our emphasis on robust risk management processes, which are intricately linked to crisis preparedness and resilience. I would especially like to thank our independent directors who brought in their deep experience and guided HDFC safely through a period of unprecedented uncertainty. We believe that the quality of governance has been a differentiator during the crisis and will remain so in a post-crisis world. I would like to mention that no institution can journey on successfully without the strong backing of a team who collectively work together to serve others. During the height of the pandemic, the employees of HDFC across the board showed tremendous character by coming together and kept pushing on to ensure business excellence and quality customer service. Shared values and ethics are what binds a team together, so this honor also belongs in equal measure to all employees of HDFC who strive to imbibe the true spirit of corporate governance. Congratulations to all the winners, and thank you to the Institute of Directors for this award.
Thank you very much indeed, Conrad, and congratulations again to HDFC and all of its team. Well done. We move on to the sixth sector, which is the gas sector, and the winner of the gas sector award is GAIL of India from New Delhi. Thank you.
So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much. I am joined by with our Director HR, Sri P.K. Gupta ji, Sri R.K. Jain, ED Finance, and Sri A.K. Jha, Company Secretary. The award as well as the this certificate is in front of me. It's given me a great pleasure to see this award. On behalf of the entire team of GAIL, I acknowledge with humility and gratitude the Golden Peacock Award of Excellence in Corporate Governance, which is given to GAIL for the year 2020. I am earnestly grateful for this recognition. GAIL is always focused on the corporate governance principles, transparency, accountability, fairness, ethics. And I would like to inform that our board members, executors, are assimilated with each other in corporate governance process. We are dealing with the complex hydrocarbon with the different segments, transmission, gas trading, LPG transmission, LSC production, and so many complex things are there in our sector. So the corporate governance is very important to be embedded with this, our working. And in this process, GAIL has got 2 more awards from the IR Society for the investor relation as the ESG award, as well as the best employer award from the Forbes. So we are maintaining all the principles of corporate governance, and all the employees, including the board members, are assimilated with each other. We are thankful to the award jury under the chairmanship of Honorable Justice M. N. Venkatchalaya ji, former Chief Justice of India and former Chairman of National Human Rights Commission. We are again thankful to the entire member of the Institute of Directors as well as the jury members and the winners who are watching and who has received this award. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. And it is a good pride for us to receive this award. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, you, Mr. Tiwari. A spontaneous round of applause. That's an amazing achievement. Congratulations. We're going to move on to the 7th sector, which is the insurance sector. And the winner of the award this year is Life Insurance Corporation from Mumbai. The Life Insurance Corporation of India from Mumbai was established by the government of India with the objective of securitizing life at a reasonable cost. The board plays a very major role in driving leadership for excellence and innovation and maintains a high standard of corporate governance and ethical standards. Collecting the award on behalf of Life Insurance Corporation from India is Mr. Rajivan Nair, who is the Executive Director of Corporate Communication. Mr. Nair.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Dr. Wilson, sir, the honorable members, Vivek Agnihotri, Ahluwalia, jury team members. We thank all of you for conferring this prestigious award to Life Insurance Corporation of India. We are very much proud to be awarded this 2020 winner of Golden Peacock Award. On behalf of LIC, I humbly accept this honor on behalf of all LICians. LIC has been the insurance provider as far as the country is concerned. After 2020, 2001, when the insurance sector was opened up, we did do a big makeover, as a result of which today we are still market leaders, both in terms of new business and in terms of customer services. We as an organization go by the principles of our mission, which is ensure and enhance the quality of life of people through financial security by providing product services of aspired attributes with competitive returns and by rendering resources for economic development. And thereby our vision, which is a transnationally competitive financial conglomerate of significance to societies and pride of India. We will continue on our mission and vision and excellence in corporate governance for the betterment of the society and be a leader in life insurance sector. Our tagline, which is Yogakshemam Mahamyam, which says your welfare is my responsibility, symbolizes all that is LIC. We once again thank the IOD team members, the jury directors, and the organizers for conferring this award on Life Insurance Corporation of India. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nair, and congratulations again to LIC. We move on to the 8th sector in this award series, and that is the IT sector. And the winner of the national award is Persistent Systems Limited from Pune. Persistent Systems provide software-enabled products in product engineering and design. They provide R&D services and consultancy. The chairman of the board conducts a familiarization session for newly appointed directors and also at regular intervals. They have special efforts made to include employees in their policy-making processes. I'm aware we seem to have got a little bit of noise coming across on our system. I hope it'll settle down in a moment. Collecting the award on behalf of Persistent Systems is Dr. Anand Deshpande, who's the founder and chairman and managing director of the organisation. Over to you, Mr. Deshpande.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. We are honored that Persistent Systems Limited was selected for the 2020 Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance. I am delighted to accept this honor on behalf of the company. Corporate governance is an important tenet for the company through the 30 years of our existence. Corporate governance is not just a marketing buzzword, but an essential aspect of how we do business and how we interact with our stakeholders that include our employees, suppliers, vendors, the government, the community, the society, and the environment. I am proud of our culture that makes us aware and conscious of our responsibilities, and I would like to thank our teams for consistently delivering to the highest standards required. I would like to congratulate all the fellow winners, and I'd like to thank the honorable jury and the Institute of Directors for conferring this prestigious honor on us. This award encourages us to strive to do better in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Deshpande, and congratulations again to Persistent Systems from Pune. We move on to the 9th sector in the national awards, and this is the paints sector. And the winner of the award this year, Asian Paints Limited from Mumbai. Asian Paints Limited is present in all 4 segments of its commercial operations: interior wall finishes, exterior wall finishes, enamels, and wood finishes. The company has an exhaustive code of conduct, which is based on principles of fairness, ethics, and corporate governance. The financial results of the company are disclosed to the stock exchanges within 30 minutes of them being approved by the board of directors. A very laudable speed of turnaround. Ladies and gentlemen, collecting the award on behalf of Asian Paints is Mr. Jeyamurugan, who is the Chief Financial Officer and Company Secretary. Mr. Jeyamurugan.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Wilson. It's my privilege and honor to accept this Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance on behalf of the entire team in Asian Paints. Asian Paints has always adopted and followed a robust corporate governance framework, which played a very, very critical role in ensuring that we remain true to our culture and values and we serve our stakeholders. Asian Paints believes that corporate governance is a prerequisite for sustainable growth, and the philosophy on corporate governance is strongly based on transparency and accountability, which has been part of this organization culture for over many decades now, actually. We are very, very thankful to Institute of Directors and the Golden Peacock Awards for recognizing and supporting us on this. On behalf of the entire organization, we thank you all very much for this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jeyamurugan, and again, congratulations to Asian Paints. The last award this evening is in the pharmaceutical sector. The National Award for Corporate Governance in Pharmaceuticals goes to Laurus Labs from Hyderabad. Laurus Labs is a public listed company. It manufactures active pharmaceutical ingredients known in the sector as APIs and formulations for pharma industry generally. Every quarter, the investor calls are conducted whereby a detailed presentation is circulated covering all aspects, including foreseeable risk factors and mitigation measures, complete transparency to all of their shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, collecting the award on behalf of Laurus Labs is Dr. Satya Narayana Chava, who is the Executive Director and Chief Executive. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chava, Dr. Chava.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson, Byron, and other members at the Institute of Directors, India, and the jury. We also want to congratulate winners of these prestigious Golden Peacock Awards in Sustainability and Excellence in Corporate Governance. I'm very honored to lead this organization to receive this award on behalf of entire Laurus family. At Laurus Labs, we have 5 core values. knowledge, innovation, excellence. We call those as extrinsic values. But there are two more values which are very intrinsic to us. Those are care and integrity. I think this award in excellence in corporate governance is a testimony to our intrinsic values of care and integrity. These have to be demonstrated by every family member. And I'm very thankful to all the family members, Lara's family members, to commitment and their dedication to not only hold these values and also improve from what we are today. And these sustainability efforts and efforts towards corporate governance are no more a choice for any organization. These are becoming a default requirements now onwards. And I want to dedicate this award to all our family members, Lara's family members. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Chava, and congratulations again to Horace Labs. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of the Golden Peacock Awards themselves this evening. We have a special address to follow, but before we do so, let's give a virtual round of applause to all of the winners today. Our final address this evening is to be delivered by Mr. Kavira Raghav Rao, who is the Managing Director of the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation. Mr. Rao is the 2007 batch IAS officer from the Tamil Nadu cadre. He's spent more than a decade of distinguished service. He's handled various important positions in state government, and he's been involved in the strategic cities initiatives around the state. His work has won him many awards for special and effective measures taken up for environmental protection, for best electoral practices, creating voters' education and electoral participation, amongst many others. We're very happy to have Mr. Rao. Thank you, sir.
Your Excellencies, respected dignitaries, all the participants, and fantastically performed awardees, my respects to you all. Our respected Secretary, Ministry of Skill and Development Entrepreneurship, Shri Praveen Kumar IAS, the guest of honor, and respected the Baroness Verma, Global Chair, respected Lieutenant General J.S. Ahluwalia, President of Institute of Directors, Dr. Vivek K. Agnihotri, Director General, Golden Peacock Awardee Secretariat, Dr. Graham Wilson, Sri Ashok Kumar, DG IOD, and all the distinguished speakers and all the participants. My respects to all of you. It's my honor and privilege to be part of this August forum and express my views and address in this forum. I'm very happy to be part of this, and my hearty congratulations to all the Golden Peacock Award winners, particularly in this 2020, which is a pandemic across the globe, which has stalled and terrified the globe, and at the same time gave a great opportunity for the globe to unite and humanity to unite, and where the corporates have performed fantastically well. And accordingly, our Institute of Directors have chosen these fantastically performed corporates for their sustainability and corporate governance. My congrats to all of you once again. And this pandemic we have witnessed gave new dimensions to think at individual level, society level, at state level, and environmentally and spiritually too. Across the globe, governments have done to their best in saving the citizens of the countries to survive from this pandemic and to face it very amicably, and corporates have played their responsibility. Me, as Indian Administrative Service Officer, have served in this pandemic at the cutting edge district administration level as a district collector, district magistrate, and seen people facing this challenge, particularly in the process of testing and treating and containing the disease and ensuring the essential supplies in the district and how we have managed it, and communication, what are the do's and don'ts, how as a whole, the community as a whole, we have faced this. At the same time, we have identified a new dimensions, rural women, how they have gone and each and every house and communicated about the do's and don'ts, how people can survive and save themselves, particularly following the guidelines of the health department and also our cultural and ancient home remedies. In this present job, the Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, I am the managing director. This is the nodal skilling agency in the state of Tamil Nadu in India, which is striving hard to achieve the goals of Skill India mission, which is the dream and vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. In this, we are concentrating on both long-term and short-term trainings, particularly the corporates, organizations and industry requires a well-qualified, professional, skilled force. Then only we can thrive and thrive the economy and perform well and produce well. So accordingly, this agency we are leading, concentrating on both short-term and long-term trainings. We have industrial training institutes, around 90 by our government and around 489 private. All are giving training on various engineering and non-engineering trades which are suitable for readily taking the workforce into the industry. Around 80,000 people every year we are doing training and short-term training courses, particularly across all the skills. The institution, education institutions and industry requirements, there is a gap. So that gap needs to be filled. So this Tamil Nadu Skill Development Organization is continuously working on short-term skill trainings on plethora of sectors. Till date in a decade, almost around 7.84 lakh people we have trained and 4.3 lakh people have been placed immediately after the training. And also reskilling the existing workforce is another important demand which industry continuously demands. So we have a recognition of prior learning programs which we are running. Various other programs like our Prime Minister's Kaushal Vikas Yojana and also skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood development. All these programs we are running with the only aim of generating a qualified, trained workforce for the development of the industry and the requirements of the corporate. And also institutions, education institutions like engineering colleges, polytechnics have been tied up. We are doing advanced high-end skill training programs. And apart from this, in this post-pandemic, COVID pandemic era, we are starting an Apex skill development centers by interacting with the industry in various sectors like automobiles, communications, construction, transport, logistics, healthcare, all these sectors where we are having continuous interaction with the industry, understanding the demands of the industry, incorporating them, and we are doing skill development centers to continuously create the workforce which is very well qualified for the demands of the industry. So this is a very nice program organized by our Institute of Directors where they are being the guiding forces for the corporate governance, for the ethical governance, transparent governance, where the corporate sector has a greater responsibility in playing the development of the society, development of the nations, development of the humanity. We always, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation welcomes all the corporates, and we will give a welcome hand for all the corporates to work for the development of the economy, for the development of the nation, for the development of the humanity. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you once again. My congratulations to all the winners. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rao, for both your important summary address, but also much respect for your efforts, both personally and collectively on behalf of the fellow IAS officers, promoting democracy, improvements in the pursuit of global goals across the board, from women's rights right the way across to environmental stewardship. I think that we don't pay enough tribute necessarily to the people who are behind the scenes, particularly from the IAS. So congratulations and thank you very much for your address. We obviously want to thank all of the award winners tonight and hope that they all fare very well in this very struggling and difficult time. So congratulations to them. I'm now going to bear you well, wish you well, and hand over to Mr. Ashok Kapoor, who of course is also a graduate of the IAS. He is the Director General of the Institute of Directors, and it's his job to propose a brief vote of thanks to our distinguished guests. Thank you, good night, and over to you, Mr. Kapoor.
Friends, on behalf of the IOD, once again, a very bright, sunny good afternoon to all of you, an early evening, and a good morning or evening to our numerous participants, especially from across the globe. USA, UK, Australia, Europe, Japan, Canada, Qatar, UAE, etc. We convey our thanks and gratitude to all of you for participating in this special Golden Peacock Awards ceremony for corporate governance and sustainability. Today, the Golden Peacock Award has become a benchmark of corporate excellence, not only in India, but also increasingly abroad in more than 20 countries. More than 1,000 applicants apply for this award annually from private and public and state government sectors. A large number of central and state PSUs also apply for this award regularly. Today, Global Golden Peacock Award is increasingly patronized by foreign companies. And I have good news for all of you. You'll be very glad to know that IOD's Golden Peacock is now displayed in the New York Times Square billboard of NASDAQ. First, IOD expresses our profound gratitude to Shri Praveen Kumar, IAS, Union Secretary, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India, Shri K. Veera Raghav Rao, IAS, Managing Director, Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation, Government of Tamil Nadu, Mr. Byron Laughlin, Global Head of Board Engagement, NASDAQ Governance Solutions, USA, the Right Honorable Baroness Verma, Global Chair, IOD Advisory Council, Chair of Goods Committee for EU, and Chair, UN Women, UK, and a former highly successful council member of UK government, Minister of Energy, Climate Change and International Development, the UK Council of Ministers. Ms. Lucia Real Martin, Executive Director, Markets, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, UK, and all the winners of the Golden Peacock Awards, global and national. We are confident that this will not only inspire the winners further, but also encourage those who are aspiring for success to win this award in future. We are thankful to Dr. Graham Wilson, Professor, Leadership and Organization Development, University of Oxford, UK, a leading European, and I would say an international authority now, on good corporate governance, and Dr. Vivek Agnihotri, IAS retired, Director General Golden Peacock Award Secretariat, and former Secretary General, Upper House, the Parliament of India. A very distinguished civil servant. Lieutenant General J.S. Ahluwalia, PVSM, retired. President IOD, as usual, set the tone of deliberations with his address. It will surely motivate more companies to avail the opportunity to participate in the famed Golden Peacock Awards in future. Mr. Praveen Kumar, Secretary, has handled various important positions in his state of Tamil Nadu as well as central government, where he was involved in formulation and implementation of various official programs at the highest level of government. A brilliant scholar, B.Tech and M.Tech from IIT Kanpur, he holds a postgraduate diploma in business administration and public administration. The Right Honorable Baroness Sandeep Verma has now become India's brand ambassador to the UK. In 2006, peerage as Baroness Verma of Leicester County. Prior to becoming Parliamentary Under Secretary of State, she was spokesperson for the UK Cabinet Office, International Development, Women and Equality and Business Innovation and Skills. She is of State for International Development and Parliament. She is currently holding one of the that is, she is the chair of European External Affairs Committee and chair UN Women UK. We at IOD are fortunate that she has kindly accepted to become global chair of the IOD Advisory Council amidst her very heavy official engagements. She was born in Punjab. Thus, India's loss is UK's gain. Mr. Laughlin joins us from New York. He's a Harvard scholar, global head of board engagement at NASDAQ, New York. He's board of NASDAQ governance solutions and former CEO of the Center for NASDAQ Board Excellence and is recognized globally in the governance community for developing unique products that address board dynamics, corporate culture, accountability, and performance. His expertise is in the design and administration of assessments of the boards. He advises on strategic alignment, best practices, diversity, and board structure. A prolific author of bestsellers, including such titles as The Rationality of Future Banking, Guide to Board, 6 Reasons of Digital D&O Questionnaires to Streamline Proxy Disclosures. He is a member of the Society of Governance, IOD UK. He is an officer of the Indian Administrative Service. His previous experience includes working in key roles in strategic urban planning. His work has won him numerous awards, including Green Award for Special Measures for Environmental Protection by the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, the ECI National Award for Best Electoral Practices in Creating Voters' Education and Electoral Participation by the President of India. Friends, he may even win a Golden Peacock Award once in IOD Institute set in future for being the best manager in India. Ms. Lucille Martin joins us from London. Asia and Newmark, CIS, South America, of course, India. She has 26 years experience on international business and market development in the areas of healthcare, infrastructure, and education. She has been largely instrumental in the upskilling of finance and accounting professionals whilst developing the profession in emerging economies. In 2014, she assumed a global role for ACC's growing emerging market countries in Asia, Europe. We are especially thankful for liberal partners today, such as Association of Chartered Certified Accountants UK as principal strategic partner, NASDAQ Governance Solutions USA and Tamil Nadu Skill Development Corporation as gold partners. Our several associate partners, that is Rajasthan Skill and Livelihood Development Corporation, Logistics Skill Council, ISECT, Skill Mission Society, Bhopal, the Tamil Nadu Apex Skill Development Center, and especially our silver partner today, the Karnataka Skill Development Corporation Limited. We have no words to thank almost 400 participants today who are largely anonymous, and all the CEOs, MDs, and senior board directors who have spared so much of their time to witness the award ceremony, and the award winners who addressed us all in person in spite of their heavy schedule. Lastly, we are especially thankful in absentia to Honorable Justice M. N. Venkat Chalaya, former Chief Justice of India, a former Chairman, National Human Rights Commission, Lieutenant General Surendranath, PVSM, AVSM, retired, former Chairman, UPSC, and Vice Chief of Indian Army, and now Vice Chairman, IOD. Shri Pradeep Chaturvedi, former advisor, FAO, and a UN expert who is now currently the Vice President of IOD. We also thank all the eminent members of the other members of the grand jury, as announced by the President in his address earlier, who have worked even during the COVID lockdown to select and honor the winners. Our special thanks to Dr. Graham Wilson, who has been with us throughout, and he gives us the wisdom of an international authority on corporate governance. Thank you, friends, once again, till we meet. Thank you.
The future moves faster than it used to. The speed of innovation in the digital age puts businesses at risk of falling behind. But it's these challenges that excite ACCA and its members. For us, the future means opportunity. We're the home of future-ready talent, creating trusted finance professionals to safeguard and future-proof your business. In a fast-moving world, our leading research, qualifications, training, and recruitment tools can give your organization a competitive edge. But what does future-proofing look like? How does working with ACCA benefit your business? The letters ACCA represent the world's leading finance qualification. They're letters you can trust. Our competency framework enables businesses to better understand the financial opportunities and challenges of their sector. Our CPD keeps your finance professionals at the forefront of knowledge, so you'll always be ahead of the curve. Find the future-ready talent you need to drive your business forward. With the world's largest specialist finance and accountancy job board, over 500,000 ACCA professionals and students ready to help expand your business. Powered by our unique global network, our cutting-edge research program provides vital insight to make the right calls. We're ready for tomorrow to help businesses succeed and improve systems, to change lives and safeguard environments, to be a force for good. ACCA is ready for the future. Are you?
At NASDAQ, we're committed to helping organizations achieve corporate governance excellence and to developing unique products that empower business leaders to innovate, grow, and stay ahead of changing markets. It's why we offer solutions that reimagine governance for boards, committees, and leadership groups. NASDAQ Board Vantage, our next-generation governance board portal, makes every aspect of board meetings and board interactions simpler and easier to manage. Powered by NASDAQ's technology and protected by world-class security, our governance platform is always ready with what you need, anytime, anywhere. For board directors and senior executives, you'll never be far from the work that needs to get done. Log in with one touch and find everything you need for your next board or management meeting, right there, ready whenever and wherever you are. Meeting agendas and reading materials are laid out clearly and are easily accessible. And when new information has been posted, you'll receive a secure notification. AutoSync will ensure documents are updated automatically and accessible online or offline, so you'll never be out of the loop. Votes, approvals, and signing important documents via e-signature are managed with a simple click, adding a level of reliability and efficiency to every step of your board's communication process. And with custom markup tools, markers and highlighters will help you annotate like a pro. Create private or shared notes and send notifications via email or text message. With NASDAQ BoardVantage, you'll have everything and everyone all in one app, protected by multiple layers of security. Operating at an expert level of efficiency and always prepared for whatever's next. Visit business.nasdaq.com/BoardVantage to request your demo today.